Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. How are you? Sorry, I'm 5 minutes late. I literally couldn't find the cable for my microphone. Been searching everywhere. I'm a little bit hot and bothered. How are you all doing? I do apologize. We hate being tardy. Big up to everyone. Listen, you know what goes on around these here parts when Spurs Talk Show streams during the evening. Bombas traditionally drop, and it looks like we've already got one. We've already got a bomber. This is what happens. This is what happens when Butler streams. Bombas drop. What is crack-a-lacking, people? What is crack-a-lacking? It doesn't matter whether he said anything new. That doesn't matter, Scott, you miserable git. What is happening, people? Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Shaw's later than Ricky Sachs. No. Listen, couple of minutes, you can forgive. Couple of hours, a little bit more, I don't know. Listen, Sean with the boobers. Yeah, that's fine. Put on a bit of timber, you know, just in time for summer. What is crack-a-lacking, guys? What is happening? How is everybody doing? You know what to do. Smash the granny out of the like button. Smash the subscribe. If you haven't already, we are on the march to whatever we are on the march to. But, guys, it's heating up. It is heating up in the world of transfer speculation. I've got one magnum. I have two magnums. And I think that's it. I've got more downstairs. If need be, we can go down that way. We can put you on hold for a split second. We'll just go and recharge my glass. Guys, it is all heating up in the world. You've got ITK wars. You've got ITK wars. You've got Luckhurst of the Sun saying, I just don't think that the Tottenham Fernandes noise is too serious. Well, it's not what everyone else is saying. 90%, or as Kate would like to have you believe that I say all the time, percentile. 90th percentile of all ITKs are saying Fernandes to Tottenham is imminente. It's exciting. Really. What is going on with my tooth, by the way? That is getting more and more pronounced. I didn't know your teeth change shape when you're 42. Maybe the magnums are having a little say with my jawline. I don't know. They're certainly having a say on my waistline, but that's okay too. Guys, smash the like button, smash the subscribe. Notification button should be squeezed. Comments should be dropped. We have lots to get through today. Dubravka signed for Tottenham, and yet no one cares. No one really cares. You know? We get a new. We got four signings under Trois Quatre. I didn't know you were good at maths either, Boise. If you know, you know. We got four signings in to the gaff, and it's not even July yet. And guess what? No one seems to care. Because what have you done for me lately? What have you done with me lately? Sean, do you have aircon? I do have it on, but I put it on for like 5 minutes just to take the sting out of the air. And then I turn it off again and I start sweating. When you see a bead of sweat on my forehead or around here, then you know it's off. And when they disappear, you know it's back on. Let's find out how everybody's doing. There's 400 people in the house. You know what to do. Don't forget, we are sponsored by OK Jersey. Code Sean at checkout gets you 8% off. Already fantastic prices at okjersey.com. You know what to do. Wait till you're 60 and the teeth fall out, Sean. That's already happened there. That one's a fake one. I got punched in a game of rugby when I was 18. Anyway, let's go and have a look-see. Should we start with a Ben Jacobs bomber? Should we go to Twitter, see what Mr. Jacobs is saying? Because you know what happens, Butler. You know what happens. There's bombers. Bombers are always dropping when Butler is on the live. Let me show you how I do this. Share screen. What's he said? I haven't even had a chance to see it myself, so it could be a load of nonsense. Let's find out what is going on, though. What's he said? Spurs are in advanced talks with Mathys Fernandes as they rival United for the West Ham midfielder. Fernandes is one of Tottenham's top targets, as exclusively revealed. Was it exclusive, Ben? Was it exclusive? I don't know. Everyone claims exclusivity, but everybody's saying the same thing. West Ham seeking 80 to 85 bars, around double what they paid to Southampton, and incoming £90 million shareholder cash injection is likely to leave West Ham in a stronger negotiating position. Manchester United are also in talks with both Fernandes and West Ham. Spurs are also rivaling Manchester City for Sandro Tonali, and Spurs, Manchester United and Arsenal all have Alex Scott on their radar, with Bournemouth, who Bournemouth hope signs a new deal. Movement expected now in the next days/weeks on all fronts as club enter the new financial year. It's interesting. I've seen a lot of people talking about financial years. That is the July the 1st, guys, is the day that it starts. Does that add an extra permutation, an extra ingredient into the recipe of, excuse me, influential factors? When you've got a cough, you know what you need to do? Have some syrup. Ratatata. Ooh-yee. Let's go. What is crack-a-lacking? So he's saying that. We've also got some interesting stuff we're going to come to a little bit later on about George Sessions. He's already put an article out saying it would seem Spurs' sporting director search. Let me zoom in so you can see it. It would seem Spurs' sporting director search has been put on the back burner, according to Vinay Venkatesham's statement in the June Fan Advisory Board meeting. This also states that the Director of Football Operations, Rafi Mursin's role includes recruitment. Vinay said the club has confidence in our people, but if we find someone who can complement our existing team and make it better, we will do that at the right time. And in a summer window, it is not that time. No one has been in a process and turned us down. Many names in the media linked with us have never even been spoken to. Players are not bought or sold because the club wants to or Roberto wants to. Johan and his team work hand in glove with Roberto to develop and deliver a joint plan. Right, well, I mean, we'll come back to that. I feel like he's I feel like old Vinay spends half his time trying to put out fires of what he considers to be misinformation, malfeasance in the communication stakes. You know, it's not how you lot think it is. Okay, Sebastian Kell didn't speak to him. Well, the story came from somewhere, and the whole story around who's leading the charge. Is it really Johan Lang and Roberto De Zerbi? We're never going to know this, but he's desperate to make it seem like it's a duck across water, isn't it? Everything he does is about putting out fires and creating that corporatocracy kind of narrative. There's a lot of people that do that. And coming from someone who's worked in the corporate world, it makes me sick. I hate it. I hate people who use corporate jingo and jargon. Corporate bingo and jargon all the time to try to sound like, I don't know, if you can't confuse people, you know? Can't convince, confuse. And he's sort of one of these bozos, isn't he? One of these bloody bozos. Anyway, let's start the show by saying hello to some people, and then we're going to go through all of the various chit chats that are going on Twitter, because there are lots of different things that are going on. Let's see, where did I get up to saying hello to people? Big up to Tony Rodriguez, member of the show, and Brian Hill. Big up to Volkov as well, members of the show. Brian, Arctic Spurs, big up to you, buddy. Big up to you. Is there going to be a bomber dropping? Just some Joe, another member. Big up to the members. Big up to all of the guys, the non-members as well, though. Big up to the non-members as well. Cure for life. Yo, Sean, which midfields would you want if Tonali and Fernandes fell through? Which midfielders would I want if Tonali? I would go for Garcia from Leverkusen. I would go for Ezequiel Palacios. I'm a big fan of his. I would go for Manu Kone. I would go for Chouameni if there's any chance of getting him in. I'd go for Camavinga if there's any chance of getting him, but there's not probably any chance of getting them. Listen, I don't want it anymore because the story's moved in a different direction, but I was still more than okay getting Polini on a permanent and bringing in a monster creative player like an Alex Scott. But you know what? That was on the previous iteration of what was available to us, our money, that the assumptions around what we were looking to do here. But it turns out Tottenham are trying to do something meaningful. And it's exciting stuff, isn't it? It's super exciting stuff. Big up to Futures Bright. Big up to Brian. I've done Brian. Big up to Daniel Hooson. Big up to love bringing in a progressive passing CM. But our biggest needs, as always, are CDM, tackler, and poacher. Well, Tottenham, Bills, Sabres. You've got a monster. You got all of that covered in the two we're looking for. You know, hit 50, they start falling out. Was that teeth? Scott Amos. Sean hates Tonali. Scott, let's not go there, buddy. Let's not go there, mate. I saw you. I saw your comments. You've seen the fact that I've seen them. I know what you're doing, my man. I know what you're doing. You're hedging your bets. You're hedging your bets. Nathan Hallmark with a new member. Big up to you, Nathan. I want to send you a card, but you've probably got enough of them knowing your name. Big up to you, mate. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Big up to you. Evening Rob plan. So no Wharton then. Listen, I would take Adam Wharton in a heartbeat. I would. I've said this for like the last couple of months. I feel like there's an oversupply of top talent in the midfield, and like the demand isn't necessarily all there. If Elliot Anderson's going to Manchester City and Arsenal were looking for someone, Tottenham are looking for someone, Newcastle will be looking for a replacement, and Manchester United are looking for someone, but Man United have already signed one of them, right? So they don't need two anymore. They just need one because they've already got their man, Edison. I just think it means that at the moment, like Tottenham are in a weird position where I feel like they don't have the pull of the competition, but they have the financial draw, which is important for negotiations. But there's also a decent enough amount of supply and talent out there. The problem is that what you don't want to happen is you don't want to fail on the first hurdle, right? Because it sets in play like a domino effect that affects the energy, the zeitgeist, the next guy. We have this conversation all the time. Like, you know, if you're someone who's sixth on the list, do you really want to go somewhere knowing that you weren't first, second, third, fourth, or fifth choice? Kate's on the wind up. You know what, Kate? I'm going to give you the chance if you fancy it. And Jimbo's welcome as well. We can do a double team today. How about that? Where are you, Kate, in my list? There you go. If you guys fancy coming on, you're more than welcome. You are more than welcome. Because I'm gonna bury you. I've decided. I feel like I'm gonna bury you. He doesn't. I'm just winding. You're not winding me up like a clockwork mouse, Kate. Listen, no, I think that Sandro Tonali is going to be an absolute sensational player. And you would know that if you'd agree with me if you looked at the stats on Spurs Hub. Get some of the Spurs Hub. It's unbelievable. The amount of features, more features than a... I've gone blank. I'm trying to think of something, rattling my brains there for something features. Couldn't think of one. This is what happens when you act like a donut. What's the Spurs Express saying? There is a quiet confidence that Matheus Fernandes will be the second midfield signing of... do me a favour. Do me a favour. We're not believing any of that crap. I do want to move across. I want to start this one here. I want to talk to you about this one here. Big up, Jules. Make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscriber, and all that jazz. Where is my pace? Manu Kone. So Tottenham were linked with Manu Kone today and yesterday. But apparently Arsenal look set to get one over on Tottenham Hotspur after being given a huge boost in their pursuit of a transfer target this summer, according to Quotidiano Sportivo. He gets a lot of quotes, that man. A lot of quote retweets. Quotidiano. The Gunners and Tottenham, this is according to Give Me Sport. The Gunners and Tottenham are reportedly battling for the same player as the Gunners continue to assess their options in the market, with the aim of improving the players available to Mikel Arteta after winning the Premier League last season. The forward areas are of interest, with talks ongoing to sign Christos Solis from Club Brugge, as well as wonder kid Jeremy Monga from Leicester City. These are both players that Tottenham have been linked with. Jeremy Monga is apparently supposed to be something sensational. I looked at him on the Y Scout last year. I was like, oh, really? You know, another kid that looks talented, but how many of them are we waiting to see develop? There could be changes in midfield too, as an exit for Christian Norgard could force through a new signing for Arsenal in the centre ranks. One key target has been on the club's radar, but Tottenham have been in the race. Now both teams had their answer from the player's preference. This is Manu Kone. What a player, by the way. What a player. Arsenal have held interest in AS Roma and France midfielder Kone this summer, but have recently faced a battle with Tottenham for the player, with their North London rivals joining the race for his signature. The 25-year-old has caught the eye in Serie A, while his exploits at the World Cup with Les Bleus have only furthered the talks. Now, I sort of saw this story about Manu Kone the other day, and this is where I want to go with it, right? Because, again, he's a player. Of course, I'd love Tottenham to sign him, right? If Tottenham were going to sign Son Chanel, exactly. If Tottenham were looking to sign Manu Kone, great. But if Arsenal were looking to sign Manu Kone, great. One less name, one less player. This is the point I'm making, that Tottenham, it's the complete antithesis of the traditional striker market. There is always a lack of supply for the appropriate demand in the striker market every single year, except for last year. Is there a Matteo Moretto? Is there a Matteo Moretto one? What are we doing? Bombas! What's he said? He's just reposted. Tottenham is very close to a reach. He's just reposted it. He has literally just reposted it, because that's 1 hour ago. He's just reposted it. Tottenham is very close to reaching an agreement with Matheus Fernandes on the contract. There has still been no official... Oh, that sucks. There has still been no official negotiations with West Ham. Matheus Fernandes also on the radar of other big clubs. Wait, this is just the story from before. No, this is the story from the June 20th. There's been 100%, there's been conversation since. And he has just reposted it. Ladies and gentlemen, expect a Romano repost soon. No sound. But can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Nothing. You can't hear me. Can you hear me, guys? Yeah, you got sound. Sound is fine. Who said no sound? Shut up, you donut. Shut up, you bloody donut, Astra. Now, listen, he has reposted his post from the 20th, which means there's more confirmation. There's more things percolating, people. We don't understand unless you understand. And if you want to understand, then get on board the understanding train. That's what we do here. Choo-choo, Fernandes to Spurs. I'm calling it. I'm going to go out. I don't know anything. You know, I don't know nothing about nothing. I used to know a thing or two about a thing or two until I put out that story on the way back from the Luton Tottenham. What story was that I got bozoed up on? What was it? I said it's 99.9% done because I met two people at the game that I know a thing or two. And then the next day he went somewhere else. Was it Gibbs White? It was Gibbs White. He didn't go somewhere else. The whole thing fell apart. Yeah, I got completely bozoed on that one. So I haven't spoken to those people since because, you know what? Once you fool me once, fool me. A fool man can't get fooled again. If you know, you know. Anyway. Straight over to Abuse Goldbridge. 100% oh. Anyway. Try turning up your volume, donut. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Bulby. Whoever that bloke, Astra, turn up the volume, my man. I can't shout any louder, and I'm not going to slow down and talk any slower either. For all you lads out there, people that are watching this that don't speak English as a first language, I see all your messages saying, I can't understand you, you're talking too fast. You know what? Get yourself Duolingo. Right? Improve your game. I'm not going to slow down so you can listen faster. Listen faster. What are we doing here? Gift Orban. Shut up, Kate. You absolute donut. How about that? Listen, but Matteo Moretto is in cahoots with Fabrizio Romano. When they repost, Romano yesterday said all the noise is out there. The Luckhurst. Sam Luckhurst of Man United fame from the Sun's Man United correspondence. He's sitting there saying, Q Duolingo affiliate link. I'm looking for a new sponsor. You know? Learn English with Sean Butler. What are we doing here? You can't maximize views if you don't repost a previous tweet telling people nothing. Oh, Scott, you cynic. You old cynic, you. I'm calling it, right? Matheus Fernandes, and I'm saying this just as a Tottenham fan, not as someone who knows nothing about nothing and nobody, but I'm saying that Tottenham Hotspur are going to sign Matheus Fernandes in the next 48 hours. I think it's going to be a la-ta-ta-ta done. I think Tottenham want to get it in before July the 1st. I think they are moving and grooving towards this one. Then they're going to pivot back to Newcastle United and say, look, you're not sure we need him as much anymore. You wanted 110? Maybe we'll give you 80. And then Newcastle go, we don't need to sell, Gabby. We don't. There's no FFP. It's not true, Gabby. And then we go, here you go, you want 85 million? And Newcastle go, why, I bet. They take it very nicely. Thank you very much, like. I've got something on my top lip. Yeah, it's a grey hair. It's a grey hair. That's all it is. I need to shave. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. It's a great. Let me see if I can pull it out. Hang on. Not going to laugh. That hurt more than I thought it was going to. Flyboy. This boy's been following me around all day. I think he's an Arsenal fan. He's been following me around like a bad habit. You know? What are we doing here? We don't have to sell, Gabby. We don't. It's not true. £80 million plus Berghvall, and we have a deal, Shawnee boy. Interesting, David. How would you feel about 60 million quid in Berghvall? Would you take 60 in Berghvall? Let me know. Let me know. You don't have the clout. This is Tottenham. We're Newcastle. We don't have to sell. Only another load of grey to get, Sean. Yeah, exactly. What are we doing here? 950 people are here listening to me doing stupid bloody Newcastle accents. Like what? Call it 70 plus Berghvall and we'll do the deal tomorrow. All right, interesting one. Ones and zeros in the chat. Ones and zeros in the chat, right? Would you do 70 plus Berghvall to get Sandro Tonali right now? Essentially valuing Berghvall at probably 30 million quid. If that's what if Newcastle want 100 million. I don't think Tonali's a £100 million player, by the way, but I'm just interested to see because apparently it's outrageous for Daniel Levy to have an opinion about a player's valuation. Look at you all. You'd all do it. You'd all do it. So you're valuing Berghvall at about your value. If we're valuing Tonali at fucking hell. What was the deal? 70 million, yes? 70 million plus Berghvall. So if we're thinking Berghvall's 40 million quid, something around there, 45, whatever, we're basically saying that we're willing to pay to Newcastle for a guy. He's played 75 games of football for Newcastle in 3 years. He's a raging addict. He's a raging gambling addict. He wants to go back to Milan. He scored about 4 goals in 75 appearances. Not that that's the only way you've got to judge that sort of midfielder. Again, I used this analogy before, but it's like judging a Ferrari on its ability to pull a caravan. It's not the same thing, right? But look at you all. Look at you all of you. The ones. 60 million plus Berg is what Mark Axie is saying. They can have Berghvall for free if they want. He is useless. Scott, whenever I see you on a stream, whenever I actually see your face and hear your voice, you're never anywhere near as bloody miserable as you come across in the chat, mate. You always seem like a lovely bloke. Always seem like a lovely guy when I see you in the chat. But in the chats, you just come across like you want to see the world burn. it's insane. Absolutely insane. You know? Are the zeros popping through now? Here we go. The zeros, some of the zeros. So this, yeah, listen, 50 million in Berghvall and a crate of Nuki Brown, says Magic Tree. How weird. Imagine if Berghvall, you know, like how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer spent so long at Manchester that he, by the end of his, or now he's always an older guy, he's got like a Mancunian accent mixed with a little bit of like Norwegian. Imagine if Lucas Berghvall in 10 years' time, how weird! I'm going over to Sweden to play in the World Cup. That'd be absolutely sensational. I almost want to see it happen just for that. Newcastle Brown takes like shit. Hits the spot. 60 million, 40 million at a push, says Gixer Boy. We should be prioritising Fernandes after that. We have more options. 100%. That's the point I was making before I got sidetracked, Sean. If you get one of them done, you get one of these guys in, Fernandes, it looks like Fernandes is the one we're going to prioritise right now, according to Sizzy Exclusive. Although Sizzy Exclusive, everyone's new favourite ITK, he says we're still confident. I'm definitely going for both. Interesting. But if you go and get Fernandes done, it does give you a little bit more in the way of wiggle room in the negotiations. You're not desperate anymore. You've got one done. Yeah, we'll still come and get the other one. You know, it's clever negotiate. Who is doing the negotiating, though? Who is doing this stuff? Is it De Zerbi on the phone? Of course it isn't. Right? He's too busy saying, "Hey, this club, I need something more." And you hope it's not old. You hope it's not fucking Johan Lang. Who's going to be doing the? Is it Rafi Mawson? Are we giving Rafi Mawson credit for getting this? Is there a bomber? Where's the bomber? Where's the bomber? Tell me where to go, people. What are we doing? There's always a bomber when I'm live. Tell me what I'm doing here. It's a fake bomber. Is it Ornstein in the B-52? Stop the fake bombers. Don't be doing that. Eugene's on the ban protocol. Eugene will give you timeouts. Who said the bomber first? Who said it? Who said it? Who said it? Who said bomber first? Let's find out who it was. Ben Jacobs bomber. That was older. That was before. Ryan B. Ryan B. Give him a timeout. Time that man out. And then Grant Davidson got stuck into it. Then the Kotamoso Majola. Then Bowlby. You lot are all shameless. Give that man, where is he? Give Ryan B a cheeky timeout. All right, that's what we're doing here. Yeah, that'll learn him. Let me do some super chiddly chit chats and say hi to everyone. Hull Spurs has put in a super sticker. Big up to Hull Spurs. How are you, mate? How are you? Choo choo to you. Choo choo to you, buddy. Choo choo to you. What is going on, mate? Thank you very much indeed for that one, buddy. Appreciate you, mate. Looking forward to getting to know you soon on a fan show. JP, a member for 34 months, says the gift Orban that keeps on giving. You know, there's a lot of content creators that like to say, like, I've been saying this and I saw him a year. I don't like doing that. I said this on Kate's show earlier. Only reason I do it very rarely is because you lot always remember the ones that I get wrong, of which there are a few, you know. Regrets, I've had a few. Gift Orban's one of them. Santiago Jimenez is another one. There's been a lot of players that I brought to your attention over the last 5 years of me doing this game that have gone on to big and better things. Noosa was one. What about my man, the other fella from RB Leipzig? I can't remember his name. The Danish right winger. What was his name? What was his name? Someone in the chat, let me know his name. Is there a bomber, though? Are we getting back in the bombers? Skov Olsen. Francis Reynolds. Skov Olsen. That's the one. What a player he is. We still should sign him, you know. Shawnee, another medical happening right now. Oh, this is a man who knows a thing or two. Gary, my man, Gary. So he let us know the other day that the team. Sorry, Gary, I probably shouldn't put your name up. I hope no one Tottenham's watching this. They're too busy signing Bombas. But he let us know that the training ground was shut down because he works in and around the training ground, and there's sections of the training ground that go off limits to all non-staff or like consultants and things. And we were told that was going to happen Tuesday to Thursday, and Dubravka ended up being the guy, right? Dubravka was the but it's another one going on right now. Let's hope it's not that kid. Is it that kid that we're trying to get? That there's a fucking medical going on. That's a bomber. That'll do, Gary. And this is on you, bro. This is on you. This turned out not to be true, mate. You know what? What are we doing here? We know if Tonali was coming down from Newcastle. Fernandes isn't at the World Cup or anything, is he? They're going to snuck him in the back door. Fair play, Sean. Your channel is different level. You should make a special guest appearance on Geordie Shore with that attempted accent. Howie! Must be fucking joking. You must be fucking joking. Scott Olsen, exactly, yeah. Come on, you Spurs. Andreas Scarl. Yeah, listen. Jan, don't forget I said Yandy or man. I remember. And listen, Sava, I'm giving Sava a little bit of credit here before I also slap him around the chops. But I remember when we were first linked to Scott Olsen, to Yandy Amandi, the first links happened in late December. I've actually got the text message. And Sava sent me the message going, Yandy Amandi is linked to Tottenham. If Tottenham sign another kid, it shows nothing has changed. And I've got the text and I've got the date. And I said, are you kidding me? Yandy Amandi's an absolute baller. He's an absolute beast. And then we were linked all January. And so, yeah, you know what? Like, this guy does call them. He calls them. Now he's going 100 million quid to Liverpool. This guy does call them early, but I also get them wrong. And I wouldn't have to remind everybody about the right ones if you guys left me alone. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. On the shit that I get wrong, you know? Sean, do I think Kulu is done? I think, has he, Mark Woodland? Has he said something? Has Ornstein said something? Telling you guys, when you see this channel's got a live stream, you just know that things are gonna pop. What's he said? He ain't said anything. Kick him out. Has he said anything? Mark Woodland, do I need to time you out, bro? Fake bombers are not the way to do about what are we doing here. What's he said? Posts. Mark. Listen, I like you, Mark. I love you, man. But you can't be doing this. Kick him out, mods. Give him a 5-minute sin bin. Let him think about what he's done. That'll teach him. Kick him out. Don't ban him. Don't ban him. Just give him 5 minutes. Yeah, exactly. If you're wrong, you're still right. Because even though you're wrong, you could have been right. And I might still be right in the future. You know? It's like those people in the stock market, the doomsday people that go, the market's too high. The market's too high. At some point, it's got to come off. I'm a massive bear on the market. All right. And then they say it at 10,000. It goes to 12,000. It goes to 15,000. It goes to 20,000. And they're still going, it's ridiculous. You've got to sell the market. Then when it goes from 20,000 down to 19,500, they go, see? I told you. All right? These fucking negative naysayers, the people that predict the losing lottery numbers and then tell you that they were right. You know? I know a few of them. We know a few of them, don't we? We get a bomber at 8:45. That's what man like Danso is saying. Big up to you, man like Danso. Big up to you. Calling it Savinho. Interesting. All right. Well, listen, we'll come back to the Bombers, but don't be throwing out that you're playing with this Ropsy. Is that like a animated cartoon girl with a Tottenham kit on? If so, kind of like it. I'm gonna lie. Shawnee noticed that Romero has removed the pin Tonali to Spurs tweet once again. Oh no, he hasn't, has he? Why? What's going on there? Let's have a look. Let's check in on Romero. Oh, it's only because he's pinned this one. You can only pin one at a time, Dave. He's done that because he's pinned this one instead. Is it on the screen? Yeah. So he's pinned Marco Palestra to Chelsea. What a player he's going to be, by the way. Super talented right wing back. What a player. So, yeah, listen, he's removed it, but only so he can pin something else. But listen, I've just got a feeling if Moretto is like reposted, requote, whatever you want to call it, retweeted, then I think Romano's going to let this one play through, and then in about an hour's time, we're going to get another one from him. We're all going to come. I'm going to be putting out my 19th video about Fernandes in about 4 days because content's got to content, and that's the game. Well, that is the game. Listen, I want to ask you about some other stories, though. Sean fantasizing about Jessica Rabbit and Disney princesses. Hey, Jessica Rabbit. You ask any man my age who watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and you tell me back when you were about, I don't know, what would it have been, 11, 12 years old? There were some feelings. There were some feelings. Come on now. There you go. Eugene knows. Eugene's about my age. Now, you see what you do, Kate, right? You try to ridicule me. I'm just talking. Yeah, you see? Look, Jessica Rabbit would get it. This is what happens, Kate, right? We are a simple species, okay? You know? Look at them. They're all coming in. Hang on, who needs a timeout? Shorty, Mark Woodland saying, I apologize. It's all good, mate. It's all good. It's all a bit of fun. It's all a bit of fun, mate. It's all a bit of fun. Some men are just strange. Oh, we're all the same, Kate. We're all the same. Your Jimbo's the same. He might not admit to you that Jessica Rabbit is a smoke show, but she's a smoke show, baby. Every single man in the chat is going, yeah, Butler's right. You know. Listen, Kate. I don't know what you're talking about, girl. Jessica Rabbit, here we go. Jess in the red dress there. See what we doing here? Sissy just posted, Sabbit, are you about to get yourself banned? Is that what we're doing? Sissy exclusive. What are we doing? Significant process is being made. That was from yesterday. Is he putting in something in the replies? He says, it's not against me, it's against the guy in question. Sizzy versus Himothy is like parents argue. Well, let's have a look at that story, shall we? So, this is where... Can you see this on the screen? Sorry, you can't see it on the screen, can you? My bad. Here we go. Right, so this is what I mean. ITK's warring, right? Sources doubt the seriousness of Tottenham's interest in Mathys Fernandes. That's from Samuel Luckhurst, who's run out of Luckhurst. Absolute nonsense, says Sizzy. Himothy says lol. And then I think it kicks off somewhere else, is it? Hang about. 81 responses. Focuses on Fernandes. This guy must be loving life. This Sizzy bloke must be loving life. This is coming of age summer. This guy's really picking up the vibes here. A lot of people leaning into him. I don't know what that... Hang on. I'm trying to find the thing that's... Let's go back to it. It's not against me. Here we go. So Himothy saying Micky Moore to West Ham on loan is being discussed as a potential part of the deal for Matheus Fernandes. Sizzy says no truth. Sizzy versus Himothy is like parents arguing. He said it's not against me, it's against the guy in question. It's not against me, it's against the guy in question. Well, Himothy rates himself a bit of something as well, doesn't he? Should we see what he's done? What's Himothy been up to? A couple other names are also being discussed simultaneously. Is this all on the screen for you guys to see? It is, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, it is true. No truth. It is true. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Himothy's obviously put his nose out of joint because I remember in January and last summer, Himothy was one of the go-to guys. Then you got like the kind of the next level down that claim their people, like the guy Krish, Krish. And I got no idea whether he knows or doesn't because he puts out so much shit. Then as soon as someone else says something, he just jumps on board it and then says, see, I told you so. It's all very interesting. And then you've got the tier below that, which is like people with 100 followers that are called like Spurs ITK !! People like that. And they put out saying Fernandes is nearly done. And they'll still get 500 likes. You know? Feel like I'm in the wrong game. You've tagged me in something. What have you tagged me in? Jessica Rabbit isn't a rabbit. Who the fuck am I thinking of that's a rabbit? She's a cartoon, though, but she is a hottie. Kate is completely mistaken. She's got it all wrong. You've got it all wrong, Kate. You got it all wrong. See? We're a simple breed. You turn a cartoon into something with shape, and not English men will just go, yeah, I could have a go on that. I'll have a go. What are we doing here? Lola Bunny. I don't want to get off the topic, but I want to ask you, who was that girl from not Family Guy, Futurama with the Cyclops eye? She was always someone that I was like, a bit weird. But, you know, she wouldn't have the depth perception because she only got one eye. So, like, you can only see, like, you wouldn't be able to see as deep. So, you know, she might look at you and think, oh, he's bigger than... he's bigger than he probably really is. What was her name? That was Lola, wasn't it? Or Layla or something? Leah. Yeah. What are we doing here? Show's got off rails. 1,150 people watching and we're talking about cartoon birds. Jesus Christ. Layla. Sean needed hard drive checked. Yeah. Oh, I was doing some super chats, wasn't I? I forgot to do super chats. Sorry, let me get back to the super chats and then we're going to get into it. Sub Dan, my man, Alaskan Hotspur says £60 million plus Berghvall is good. Let's go. 60 million plus Berghvall. It's still a lot of money, mate. I think Berghvall's got talent. I do. I think you take... you know what, though? 55. 55, 60 plus Berghvall. Yeah, let him go. You know what? We'll be talking about bringing Berghvall back in a couple of years' time. Big up to you, Sub Dan. Thank you for the super chat. Hotspur Mark, member for 11 months. Just letting me know. Big up. Appreciate your loyalty, mate. Big up to you. Thank you very much indeed. Memberships are available for anyone who wants to do it. Moondog, my longest serving member. Well, maybe he's not a member anymore. He says, good evening, Sean, my man. I need suggestions for sun cream that won't stain my clothes. I don't know. What's the point of putting suntan lotion on if you're going to wear clothes, though? If anyone's got any options there, let Moondog know. Big up to you, bro. Big up to you, mate. Hope you're okay, mate. Good to see you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Bears Cave, super sticker. Big up to you. Choo-choo to you. Choo-choo to you. Big up to you, mate. I appreciate you very much indeed. KOS Kent Olaf has become a new member. Big up to you, Kent Olaf. Big up to you, buddy. Cos Kent. Koskent Olaf. Big up to you, mate. I'm not sure where you're from, but it sounds a cool name. Dean Law's also in the house. Always here. Always supporting. Always being a legend. Big up to you, my man. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate you very, very much indeed. Sun cream, yeah. Sun cream it is. Sun cream it is. Right, we're going to get another bomber. Anyway, let's get back to some other stories, shall we? There's other stories going on. I want to show you this. Tottenham give... Is it on the screen? No, it's not on the screen. Start again. Tottenham give update. A search for new sporting director is paused. Tottenham search for a new sporting director has been paused. Spurs hired Fabio Paratici last October. This is from The Independent, by the way. This is George Sessions, who works for the Associated Press. I've met George, lovely guy. The search will now continue at the end of the summer transfer window, according to minutes from a recent fan advisory board meeting. Another sporting director was set to be brought in this summer, but during a meeting with Fab on June 16th, Chief Executive Vinay Venkatesham confirmed it was no longer a key priority. This is the thing, like, if you're saying on the one hand, like, we've got to trust the plan, right? We're trusting the plan, but your plans change, bro. Your plans change. You know, you flip-flop more than Lubo does. Langer head coach Roberto De Zerbi and Rafi Mawson, who has joined as director of football operations, are leading the club's recruitment this transfer window. I think what maybe they've done is, I'm hoping that maybe they've seen something impressive from Rafi Mawson. He's come in, young guy, something to prove. He's dropped his like 9-inch cock on the table and gone, have a look at that. I'm here to do business. And they've gone, powerful. You know what? Let's put the search on hold. We've got all we need right here. Asked about the sporting director search, Venkatesham said in minutes from the FAB meeting, the club has a confidence in our people, but if we find someone who can complement our existing team and make it better, I ran out of air then as I was talking, and make it better, we will do that at the right time. And in a summer window is not that time. Okay, well then why were you looking? Anyway, whatever. No one has been in the process and turned us down. It's so desperate. No one's turned us down. No one's turned us down. We turned them down. You can't fire me. I quit. So grabby, isn't it? So grabby. No one has been in the process of us down. Many names in the media linked with us we have never even spoken to. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you didn't speak to Sebastian Kell, though. You know? Several top... It's so weird. Like, why do you have to come out and say that, right? Why do you have to come out and say that? It's a reputation thing. It's like... I'm trying to convince everybody that everything's on the right track. Okay, if no one's turned you down and you were looking and now you've decided to stop looking, then the story doesn't make sense, Vinay. Like you were speaking to people with the intention of bringing someone into the summer. You've now said we're shelving it because the summer's not the right time to do it, but it was the right time to do it a month ago when we were linked with Sebastian Kerr and all these other people. And now you're coming out and saying the reason why we shelved it isn't because we did, like, no one's turned us down. Even if that's true, it's so beggy and grabby to have to come out and explain yourself like this. Like, you want better communication. Fans want better communication, but they don't want cheesy. Like, it's reputation management of the lowest ilk. The lowest ilk. I honestly, like, I used to work when I worked for Google. I used to be like a strategist for lots of companies with certain parts of their digital brand, and you'd be involved in conversations with PR people, that you'd be around the table with like big companies that were sitting there, and you'd wait your turn to speak about your part, but you'd have other people that were talking about their bits. And you'd never hear someone say, you know what's a good idea, right? We need to go out there and it's a bit Trumpy. It's a little bit like Donald Trump. And again, I'm not trying to get into the politics, but it's more around like trying to make people believe that you've got it all under control when most people with 2 brain cells or more know that that's not the case. It just seems so beggy. I don't know, whatever. Several topics were discussed during a wide-ranging meeting. Non-executive chairman Peter Charrington and Venkatesham both labelled the 25-26 campaign unacceptable after Spurs only narrowly avoided relegation with a final day win over Everton. Let me just check on. Is there any bombers that I'm waiting for here? No. You'll let me know, right? I need to have like some sort of. I think I need to set up like some sort of noise that when someone puts the word like #bomber in, it goes. So that if I'm looking off screen, I can come back in. Anyway, where was I on that story? Several topics after Spurs narrowly avoided defeat with Everton. Win over Everton. Charrington also said every decision made at Tottenham was judged by the metric. Does this make us a better football team? Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. It's so beggy. Fuck right off. He's like they think we're 10. Oh, we're not fucking children. It's so. This is what we do. Every decision I've implored 800 members of staff. Everything they do, from signing a player to pouring a beer in the stadium. Ask yourself this: is this particular pint of beer making Tottenham a better football team? Shut the fuck up. He's so cringy. It's such a load of bullshit. I can't stand it. Like, it's vomit-inducing. I'm sorry, Vinay. I'm sure you're a smart guy, mate, but you're treating us like we're fucking idiots. Absolute. That's just. Venkatesham said in the meeting minutes that the season was unacceptable and cannot happen again, and that the ambition is to compete for major trophies and play the style of football our supporters want to see. Venkatesham also proved a strong defence of under fire Lang, who has taken the brunt of criticism from fans after Tottenham finished 17th in each of this. This will be interesting. Players are not bought or sold because the club wants to or Roberto wants to, he said. Johan and his team work hand in glove with Roberto to develop and deliver a joint plan. Roberto joined because he believes in what we can do together as a team. He had no retention bonus. He has never asked for control over any decision-making, and he was completely committed to the club if we were relegated. Interesting. Don't know if that's true or not, but whatever, we'll go with it. Johan played a critical role in his appointment. Roberto was always the number one choice, and we are delighted with the impact he has made so far. It was also revealed a new director of football operations, Mawson, started on June the 16th after a period of gardening leave following his exit from City Football Group. Mawson said during the meeting, my remit includes recruitment, player transactions, infrastructure, player care, and responsibility for the women's team. Ex-Manchester City executive Mawson also emphasised the importance of player welfare, relationship building, and improving football outcomes during the meeting which occurred on his first day at Spurs. Yeah, I don't know. I'm quietly, cautiously optimistic about Rafi Mawson. I don't really understand what is meant by player welfare, relationship building. What do you reckon that? Like, let me know in the chat. What do you reckon that means? Player welfare, relationship building. Is player welfare just like, making sure that they're happy, or does it mean something else? Relationship building with whom? With other teams? Okay. They're your competition, so don't get too cozy. And improving football outcomes. Well, that's just easy bollocks, isn't it? This is nothing burger. Like I say, I just feel like Tottenham's like under. I just feel like Vinay Venkatesham, to me, he comes across like someone who's got an MBA, who wants to work with people that have got MBAs, and it's just corporate bollocks, corporate spiel. I've seen so much of it in my time, and it makes me sick because it's just about talking a good game and thinking that everyone that's listening is like absolutely wowed by the waffle. And if you're not particularly idiotic as a human being, you can see through it. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that it's just a lot of noise and not much substance all the time from these people. And they all pat each other on the back and come up with these buzzwords. And I used to be a part of it. I'm sure I still do it to some degree at some point. And I hope I really don't want to do it because I find it it's nauseating. Nauseating. Corporatocracy bollocks is absolutely fucking horrendous. Them supply of clean hookers. Player welfare is helping players cope after a conversation with Lang. Yeah. Let me just do some more super chats that will come in a few minutes. Rob Brown, 22.99. He says, since we're off topic, when's the next rabbit hole? Listen, the rabbit hole is by no means dead, okay, at all. I love the rabbit hole, and I've built loads of, using Claude, I've built loads of new features and things to do. It's just because the Spurs Hub is like so nascent, I am trying my best to build up the features on it. And every time I'm not doing a stream, I'm working like 12, 13 hours a day trying to make the Spurs Hub a cool place so that as hopefully it picks up in its momentum with new people joining. I think we've already got like nearly 1,500 users now that check in, that have signed up, sorry. And so I'd encourage everybody to get over there to spurshub.co.uk. I think you can, if I get myself out of the way for a second, I think you can see it there. No, you can't see it there, bollocks. spurshub.co.uk anyway, right? It's a really cool place. It's got loads of features, loads of cool places for everyone to hang out. And it's a big community, but it needs to get bigger. So it's taken me like all of my free time. But the rabbit hole is coming back, Rob Brown. 100% it is. It's just I haven't got enough time in the day to do everything. That's the reason why I've kind of left Spurs 5, the reason why I've left Football Inc. It's just because I don't have enough time in the day to do any of those things. So I'm focusing entirely right now on Spurs Talk Show and on the Spurs Hub, trying to make that a cool place. And then hopefully when the Lions share of the work is done on that, then I can get back to things that I really enjoy, like the rabbit hole. Big up to you, Rob. Appreciate you very much for the super chat. RageMeister88 says, my wife, Rachel, thinks you defy science wearing that hat. Well, the reason I'm wearing the hat is because I've shaved my head and I wanted to see how bald I was going. And the answer is badly. So I'm going to get myself a cheeky little turkey trip. But the hat's also part of the brand, you know. Big up to RageMeister and big up to Mrs. RageMeister. How you doing? How you doing? Spurs. Oh, my man Blano's gifted 20 Spurs Talk Show memberships. What an absolute bomber. There's a bomber. Big up to you, Blaine. Super generous, mate. Super awesome. Thank you very much indeed, Blaine, for your support, my man. That's disgustingly generous of you, buddy. Really, really appreciate you, mate. Guys, if you were one of the guys that received the 20 memberships, then please do get in board it and make sure you say thank you to Blaine. Blaine, unbelievable generosity, mate. What a guy. What an absolute superstar. That's so very nice of you, mate. And I promise you, I keep saying that and I never really follow through on it. I am gonna do I'll do one tomorrow if I can. If I can find the time tomorrow, I will definitely 100% do a members phone-in show. So make sure you participate. But make sure, more importantly, you say thank you to Blaine. One of, if not the most generous guys I've ever met in my life. He's an absolute legend of a human being. Big up to you, Blaino. Big up to you, buddy. Bugsy Treat Fund says DJ Riot. Big up to you, mate. Appreciate you, bud. Appreciate you, buddy. I'll get her an ice cream or something. She's very particular. Very particular. She doesn't like, you know, the ice creams that Twisters. You know, like the green and the yellow and the white and the red and all that stuff that goes around. They're really delicious, those ice creams, right? She don't like them. She won't eat a Twister. She loves a Mr. Whippy. Absolutely. But she can't have the flake, right? Because the flake is like the chocolate thing's bad for them, isn't it? But she won't eat, like, it's 36 degrees out today. I was down the park, down the Brooklands Park, and Mr. Whippy came in. And I got her a Twister. She didn't like it. She was like, I don't want that. So I had to go back and get another one. And it used to be 99p for a Mr. Whippy. Not anymore. Inflation's going to inflate people. You know, that dog cost me a fortune. Little precious little bitch, though. Big up to you, DJ Wright. Thank you very much, mate. I'll get her something nice. I appreciate you, mate. Blaine's come back in again saying, Sean, I'm still waiting on you to respond to the pics of my sex done. Mate, I've already responded. So Blaine's an incredibly hardworking geezer, right? Made it like he's done really well for himself. He's also an incredibly fortunate guy. He won a massive like a local lottery or something. Paid off his mortgage, and now he's got, like, for a young guy to have be mortgage free is insane. Congratulations! And now he's got a lot of play money. So he's gone and built like a. I think he's got like a room with like a giant pool table. I think he's got a bar in the back. It looks absolutely sensational, mate. I have responded to your pictures, mate. I have, but the sex dungeon bit, I don't know about that. Enjoy yourself though, mate. And yeah, ratata. Big up to you, Blaine. Thanks again. And Bourbon buzzing with a £2 super sticker. Big up to you, Bourbon. Thank you very much. By the way, Bourbon, can you email me again? Because I might have lost your email. Can you email me, mate? If that offer of coming up to PMQs is still on the table, bro, I would love to do that. Me and my mum would love to come up and go and see one of the PMQs when Burnham gets in See how he gets on against against whatever he's doing, against whoever he's up against. Big up to you all. Big up to you all. Right, what are we doing here? £7 whippet. Yeah, mate, it's it's outrageous, Gibbo. It's absolutely outrageous. Don't forget to smash the like button, guys, by the way. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Let's talk about Brian Brobby. So we've been linked with Brian Brobby today. Sunderland player. I want to show you this. I want to show you this player, right? Let me see if I can get it up on the screen. Pause. Spurs Hub. Let's have a look at Brian Brobby, because it's interesting, because we all think of him as like a really monstery player, right? Let's have a look at Brian Brobby. So easy way to do this for this simple analysis. Look at his best statistics from last season against top 5 leagues. I was doing this earlier on the show. A lot of the things that Brian Brobby's really, really strong at relative to other people is almost defensive capabilities. Relative to other strikers, he gets dribbled past the fewest times, less than 97% of people. Dribbles that he stops, 97th percentile. He does have an outperformance of his XG per shot of 0.18, which is in the 91st percentile. But look, again, blocks per shot, failed dribbles, all of these things, they don't really scream like he's an unbelievable outperformer at the things that you want. He's just an outperformer at the things that maybe you want from a striker that presses from the front. He's very, 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 very much a hard-working striker. But what's interesting about him, he does have a relatively good conversion. So 1 in every 5 shots he scores a goal from it, which is 82nd percentile across all strikers across the top 5 leagues. His conversion, sorry, I've done that one. And the shots that he has that are on target, nearly 50% of his shots that he takes are on target, which again is in the 80th percentile. A very talented player. And I do like Brian Brobby for his work rate, for his strength, for his ability to hold the ball up. I think he scored 7 goals last season in the Premier League. But if you actually look, he's actually only got a hero score. You can see it on the right there, of 40 out of 100 again, relative to all strikers, which is like a calculated algorithmic score based on his stats relative to other people in his position. So I think we can do a little bit better than Brian Brobby. Let me know your thoughts, though. BBB, big Brian Brobby, ratatata. I've got a feeling a lot of people are going to be on board Brian Brobby. I'm not sure he is that much better than what we have. I think he's slightly different to a Richalison, slightly different to a Solanke, different types of players. Good in things and bad in others compared to the other two. But I don't think Brian Brobby is the sort of guy that really moves the needle for me. Let me know. Does he move the needle for you? I want to find out. 1s and 0s, guys. 1s and 0s. Does Brian Brobby move the needle for you? Let me know. 1s and 0s. 1 if you rate him and you want him to be Tottenham's star striker next year. 0 if you don't. Let me see what is going on whilst you're doing that in the Chiddly Chit Chat. What's going on Twitter? 1 second. What am I looking for? Anything going on Twitter? Is there anything going on Twitter? 6 notifications. Oh, 2 hours ago, Rudolph N17 has said, what's he said? You show him? Someone's linked me. Dean Gibbs linked me on this one. I'm hearing that Spurs are confident a deal can be agreed at 68.5 plus add-ons, taking the total package to in excess of 80 million, not 80 million up front as is being currently reported. Meanwhile, Manor Solomon is a player who West Ham hold genuine interest in due to past performances in the Championship and attractive price tag. Do you know what? I actually think that would be a fantastic... If West Ham need to sell Somerville, I actually think Manor Solomon would be a fantastic signing for West Ham. Genuinely think that would be a good shout. I don't know if Rudolph is a... Does he know? Does he have anything? Is he... What's this? Just keep an eye on the Simmons news to hit the median. I know that was from Lot. Yeah, I think people are giving him... I don't think people are particularly interested in what this guy's got to say. Anything else I need to know about down here in the notifications? Tottenham slag. I love that gif. Always makes me like chuckle because it's like me, Bugsy, we gotta go. We gotta go. There's a bomber. Bugsy, come on quick. There's a bomber. We gotta go home. Absolutely. Ratatata. Mathys Tel United. Here we go. Kick him out. Kick him out. Get him out of here. Why did I get those zeros? What the fuck is Rudolph? Hang on. What's that? I love your Geordie. Why, man? We don't have to sell, Gabby. We don't. It's not true. That was your try, was it, Gibbo? Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I don't think Rudolph is anything. I don't think he's anything. Sean Dunn, don't you think we are acting in a much more professional way since Rafi joined? Transfers, new gym and facilities upgrade. You know who I'd like? If you're still watching, Gary, and you want to come on and give us a little insight, let me know. If you're there, bro, message me. In fact, let me check my let me check my where is he? Let me see if Gary's there. Is that him? Here we go. Does Gary want to come on? Gary, if you're there and you have 10 mins, love to get your Johnny, you're welcome to, of course. Well, he's messing me back. Yeah, because I think Gary might be able to give us some sort of insight into if he's around. I don't know if he's around. No, not Gary Ward. I don't know Gary. I met Gary Ward once. Gary Olnick, who's a part of the sort of medical setup at Tottenham. Oh, yeah, just got a notification. What's he said? Am I lonely, Kate? Kate, I am always lonely. Lonely in life, mate. Lonely. Why do you think I drink seven bottles of Magnum every day? It's to suppress my horrendous loneliness. No, Gary from the medical department or the medical consultancy company is the guy who said that the training ground's closed at the moment for maybe a potential. But he knows there's things going on, right? We've already made some changes, made some permutations towards transforming the stadium or the training ground rather from a 5-star hotel to more of a it's all right, Kate, you've got to come on. So it's fine. I'm more than capable of handling the drunken slumber. I just want a bomber because I don't feel like we got the bomber that we wanted, right? I feel like if I would give it an extra, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of nonsense. There we go. Where is it? Bingo! Bingo! Nah, I'm not lonely, mate. I don't want no bird. I don't want no dirty girlfriend telling me where I can go, where I can't do. If I want to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit for the 20th time, that's what I'll do. And stay out of my room. I told you not to interrupt me when I'm cleaning my room. Do I like Mateta? Yes, I do like Mateta. I do. Do I think he is going to stay in the Premier League? No, I do not. I don't think so, no. I think he's going to go back to... I think he wants to go to Italy, doesn't he? But I don't know if Mateta's still got it, like, all that... Is he still as... I just got a feeling with Mateta, he's someone that when he wants to do it, when he wants to put in the effort, the graft, the full 9 yards, he's got it. Gary says he can't come on as on daddy duty. Oh, there you go. He said full training ground redevelopment all underway. Big investment led by Dan Lewington, new head of performance. Big up to you, Gary. We'll get you on the next one. Big up to you, Johnny, as well for letting me know. Yeah, it's interesting. So we'll get Gary on soon. Get Gary on soon to give us a little rundown of what that looks like. But he reckons that the training ground is shut down at the moment, as in like there's a medical going on or something's happening. Now, is that going to be another player that we don't really care about? Or is that going to be someone that makes me go, ra-ta-ta-ta, Tottenham mean a little business? But, poor Henry Hoover. I think your one isn't smiling, Sean. Yeah. I'm only joking. Only fucking joking, pet. Don't be silly. Sean, any truth that Lubo is applying for Big Brother? That would be fucking brilliant. That would be absolutely brilliant. He would just walk from one housemate, Dear 7, in the Big Brother house. And Lubo is talking about Levy again. Lubo smashing around. That would be fucking brilliant. Absolutely ratatata. That would be delightful. And Lubo is in the diary room. Hello, Lubo. How are you? No, I'm not okay. That idiot in there thinks that Daniel Levy was a really good chairman and it pisses me off. Oh, sensational. We love just pivoting off onto random tangents here, don't we? Nicholas Jackson, TDL Craig, not for me. No tar. No tar. Rata-tar-tar to no fucking tar. Not having that. We're getting a double bomber, a doubles bombas before Friday. I'm calling it, says new member of the show, Ken Olaf. It's up to you for making a call. I'm calling Fernandes is done. I think he's coming. And then I'm going straight over to the United stand with serial accounts. I'm going to have like 19 soccer accounts saying that I'm actually going to set up Claude to build some sort of like bot farm where they just like just fucking hammers it. Bone emoji. Get that bone emoji bomber going all over United stand. And also, this is football. We're going after him, okay? We're going after him because that man shows a little bit too little respect for my club. My club, you know? So if we get Fernandes, everyone here needs to smash the bone emoji and the puppy emoji into my friend. Well, my friend. I respect him. I rate him. I think he's fantastic. But I know it's only banter. But we got to give some back, right? We got to give a little bit back, people. What we doing here? Please say hi, Connor. I love your stuff, Sean. Hi, Connor. How are you? Love you, mate. Appreciate your appreciation. Appreciate your appreciation. What are we doing here? Sean, do you think Spurs will get Vlahovic? They do like freebies. You know what? This is interesting, mate. So I never want to be a flip-flop. I'm happy to change my mind if people convince me of a better argument. I think I've had my mind changed a little bit with certain things in the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to give Kate any credit for it, but she maybe have played a part in it. But with Vlahovic, I can't even make my mind up because I feel like there's a really good player there, and I actually feel like he would do well in the Premier League. Physically, I think he's good enough. I think he had a better season last year. Like he was under the cosh of the threat of Jonathan David coming in, who was terrible anyway. And then the geezer that they took on loan from Dortmund or Leipzig, one of the yellow teams. Who was it? I forget his name. And he was like, no, I ain't going anywhere. I'm fucking staying. I'm staying. And he put in a good shift. And I feel like he's got it in him. And I feel like he would work in the Premier League. And I think he's a big name. But he wants too much money. But you know what? Maybe Tottenham might end up doing it. If you drop 100 million quid on Fernandes, or close to 85 million, whatever it's going to be, and then you drop the other slice of that, so you're basically 180, 190 million quid in the hole on those two players, which I'm loving the sound of, then you still got to go and get yourself a Savinho or whoever else it is. I know Johnny wants Almala. I want Abdi from Betis. I think he's class. I think he's such an unbelievable player. There's plenty of others, though. I'm happy with Cody Gakpo. I'd be more than happy with Marcus Rashford. All those players are better than what we have. I did hear Sava saying earlier on what was the Spurs 5 that is now called Talking Tottenham 1882. He was like, yeah, he takes Somerville because he's clearly levels above Mathys Tel. I wanted to jump in and go, based on what, bro? What's he better than? There's a bomber. No way. We got a bomber. Oh, bomber, wow. Oh, City. Oh, that's a ta-ta, people. I always told you there's a bomber that drops when Butler goes live. Ooh, zoom in. Understand Tottenham have reached a verbal agreement with West Ham for Mathys Fernandes. Rata fucking ta-ta. What are we doing here? Come on. Come on. That is what I'm talking about. Let's go. Get those puppies and bone emojis ready, Sully. Get them ready. Listen, I don't want anyone to leave this show just yet. I don't want anyone to leave the show just yet. But if he is live, I want everybody that has access to a computer to open up another tab. And if United Stand or This Is Football, whatever it's called, is open, I want everybody to go and just put in a little doggy bone. Fabrizio's can come in, people. Ratata, bloody tar. We got another super chat as well. Great show as always, Shawnee. Appreciate you, Adam. Appreciate you, mate. Would you rather a Ramos level forward on higher wages backed up by Lancashire, or two Solanke level strikers? Mate, get me a baller, and I'll sit there with Lancashire. I think Lancashire has got something about him. Really do. I think that guy has the potential to be a really, really, really interesting player. Because I think that when you've got the amount of talent that we've got, or we're hopefully trying to build, sorry, not we've got, that we might have, with left wing, right wing, 10s, you know, if everyone's fit, right, just pause for a second and kind of go, if everybody's fit, and you've got Fernandes and Tonali in the middle two, right, and then in front of them you've got Maddison or Xavi, and then on the left-hand side you've got whoever, Savinho, on the right-hand side you've got Kudos, and up top you've got Gonçalo Ramos. Like, I don't even think it matters if Ramos comes off and you put Will Lancashire up there. The ball is going to be put into the right positions in the box. And what I love about Lancashire is that I think he's got the ability to read the game. I think he's like a Gary Lineker kind of type of player. He knows where the ball's going to be. I don't think you're going to see him or rely on him scoring worldies, but I genuinely do think, I know this is not going to be music to the ears of the miserable crew who are like, oh, no, well, we want world-class players in every position. Fair enough. But I think that Will Lancashire has something, and I want to see it before we sell it. That said, if Tottenham need to raise money and there's people are after him for 25 million quid, whatever, maybe so. Big up to you, Adam. Big up to you, Adam. What are we doing here? This is a big one, people. Understand, Tottenham have reached a verbal agreement. He's the first one to say, Spurs Journo. It's Spurs Journo that said it. Hang about. I know who this guy is as well. Has he put something out? Yeah. Tottenham have come to a verbal agreement with West Ham for Mathys Fernandes. Ra-ta-ta-ta. And heard from Spurs. Who's this geezer? Am I following him? I am now. Let's put a notification button on. What's he said? What's he said? They've been working together, these lot. They're colluding. They're in cahoots with each other. Who is heard from Spurs? Football Perspective ITK. Who's he following? See who he's following. I don't know who these people are. He's following. This is one of the guys I was talking about. This guy heard from Spurs who's following this other guy, Spurs ITK. Oh, that's this. I know this guy. He's calling himself. He's an ITK. I don't know. This guy messages me all the time, and I'm sure he's about 16. He asked me. He said he got in trouble at work with some issues. I don't know what happened, but like I'm not sure he's an ITK. I think he's a child. I'm pretty sure he's a kid. I think he's like 18 or something. Anyone else on there we need to follow? I know these people. Anyway, getting off the topic. Guys, it is ta-ta-ta-tarring. Oh, I told you. Oh, fucking Fernandes is coming to Spurs, people. Ulrika's in the house. Ratatata, Ulrika Kaka with the Ratatata. I'm getting bored of saying it. I've got to find a new word. What are we doing? In cahoots, Daniel. They're in cahoots, my man. Timothy's on it as well, is he? Oh, I told you. Guys, when I go live, Bombas drop. Timothy. What are we doing here? Timothy reports. What a name, by the way. Timothy. Can confirm Spurs are extremely confident in completing the signing of Mathys Tel within the next 7 days. Everyone's piling on. Are they piling on because Matteo Moretto retweeted it? It's coming, people. It's coming, people. Sean, that guy said 15 minutes ago that Spurs had agreed 65 plus 15. Who was that? Who said that? Who said that guy? Who was that guy, TLD? So I remember that. Who was the guy who said that? Was that Timothy that said that? Should be wrapped up by early next week. Yeah, fucking next week, bollocks. Who was the person who said 65 plus 15? Who was that? I don't really see it as a bomber unless it's on. Surreal, mate. With all due respect, bro, you're someone that's determined to stay bought, to stay negative, bro. You know, I like you, man, but you are someone that leans into that whole negative thing. Timothy's a chancer. Rudolph said it. Ah, that's it. Rudolph said it. Let's go back and see what Rudolph has said. Has he come out? Do I follow this guy? I'll give him a notification bell button as well. Don't forget to smash the like, people, guys. If you're enjoying the show, smash the like button for me. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the march to whatever we're on the march to. Yeah, on Fernandes. Is it on the screen? Yeah, here we go. I'm hearing that Spurs are confident a deal can be agreed at 68.5 plus add-ons. Okay, but he's not. So he's not in the same clique, though. He's not in the same clique as the other lot that are all like wiping each other's asses and giving each other high fives and stuff. What are we doing here? It was Sizzy. No, Sizzy just said it's happening. Rudolph's an AI account. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Rudolph. There's someone in Billy T and Hayden in my WhatsApp group know whoever that guy is. He's some bloke who sits in the south stand. He's just like a donut. So I don't care about. You know what am I doing? In fact, I even know it's bollocks. So I'm taking that away. I'll keep it followed because it gives me content's got a ton. But I'm not going to get woken up in the middle of the night with his notifications. No chance. Maybe he's having his medical. Maybe he is, Kate. Maybe he is. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Rudolph is real as Santa. Say. Bomba Sizzy said we've already verbally. We're ahead. We're ahead of you there, Marky. We're ahead of you there, mate. The Bombers drop, though. The Bombers do drop when Butler is live. So that's what we got to take note of here. What's really important above all of this, it's not whether bombers happen and who drops the bomber. It's when the bombers happen. And the bombers happen when Butler goes live. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell button because when you know, whenever I go live, it's a fucking tried and tested formula. You've all witnessed this. You have all witnessed this long enough now. Butler doesn't go live that often. When he does, within a very, very, very quick period, bombers fucking drop people. You know? I'm just saying. I'm not taking credit. It's a bit of luck. More luck than anything, isn't it? But better be lucky than good. Better be luck than good. Bro, you're so delusional. I think you're delusional if you think I'm being serious. Grant's going to go and have a little chop suey over Fernandes. It's fantastic news if we get this one done. How did Sean's date go last stream? How did Sean's date go last stream? Date? Oh, was that with Kate and Sarah? You need your own here we go. Here we blow. There is no bomber. Do you know what it is? You know what it is? Skunk Works is another one of these guys that they want to lean negative. They don't want it to happen. They want to see the world burn. I love you, Skunky. You've been around here for a long time, but I'm familiar with your your content. Same with other people as well. But where's my man Amos? Scott Amos. If this one comes in, bro, you've got to apologize. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. I said it's too late to apologize. Oh, yeah. There he is. There is Scott Amos. I'm coming for you, bro. I'm coming for you. Sean goes live when Gary says there's action at the ground. Listen. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games. If Tottenham get hold of this lad, and let's just play. You know, should we do something? Should we do something fun? Should we play fantasy football? All right. We haven't even spoken about Verbruggen, about what's his name, have we? Dubravka. I don't really care. Like, for me, I think it's fine, sensible. He's good goalkeeper, 37. He's solid. He'll be good in the personality stakes, good in the leadership things. All absolutely fine. What are we saying here, people? What are we saying here? Are we thinking it's going to be like this, and we'll have a B team as well? We'll have a B team, right? Can you see this on the screen? I need to change. Oh, for fuck's sake. And then, sorry, Polinia, you're no longer needed, my man. I mean, what are we doing here? Fernandes. But let's put in this guy just for. Sorry, right? But that as a starting 11. In fact, fuck you. You don't belong in there. That as a starting 11, right? Where does that starting 11, and just know that we've got more behind it, where does that starting 11 go to? Put Bruno Fernandes. Oh, for fuck's sake. My bad. Those two should be swapped. That is delicious. Now, on the left-hand side, let's say, let me change the second team to... At the moment, there's a chance this donut might still be there. Sorry, right? I'm sorry. And that doesn't include Kulusevski. It doesn't include many. Other people I'm forgetting. Doesn't include Archie Gray. Doesn't include Danso. Doesn't include Richalison. Still need a better left winger. Look at that though. Honestly, you've got to sit there and kind of go, what are we doing here next season with that 11 and with something like that? And by the way, all that's asking for after Tonali and Fernandes, all that we're asking for is a left winger and a striker. There's a strong argument that Tottenham could go and find someone like him, right? Who can play in the 10 as well. You know, unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable stuff. Hang on, let me just see what someone sent me something here. What's going on? Oh, Connor's just sent me some interesting information. Big up to you, Connor. He said, in case you're interested, I am interested. I'm always interested in what you're saying, Connor. West Ham year end is the 31st of May, so they're not impacted by whether the deal is June or July for recognising the profit. Love that, Connor. Big up to you. So no reason why they couldn't accelerate Fernandes' deal to happen quicker. There's no benefit for them to push it into July. Love that, mate. Love that. Let me see what else is going on. And Kate, yeah, sure, if you want. Yeah, no worries. I haven't seen that. Just time out, though. Nothing else. Let me just double check I've got everything here. Oh, it looks like OK Jersey are just about to look. They're ready to go now. They are ready to go in the next couple of days with the shirts, guys. So it's been a while. They've been pissing me off a little bit. I love them to pieces, but they got to get their business hat on. You know, put your bald head away, put your business hat on. We got things to sell, things to do. Let me know what you're thinking, though, guys. Let me know what you are thinking. Big up, Daniel. My man, Daniel Lee. Connor, do you want to come on? If you're back now, I've been waiting to see if you wanted to come on. You still got the link if you fancy it, mate. If you're back in, let's see what is going on. I think Tottenham have got themselves a bit of a Ratata team going on. I still feel like that first 11, this first 11 looks tasty to me, but obviously Simmons will be out for a while, right? So let's play starting 11 as it looks. I don't even know if Kudus didn't even get off the bench, did he? Or did he get like a few minutes for the Ghana game? So as it stands, even if you swap him, he's much more or less likely, isn't he? That team, Udogie, Van der Ven, Van Hecker, we don't park the bus, we park the van. Pedro Porro, Kinsky, Tonali. I mean, what a back seven or back six that really is, right? These guys can push forward and do their things because these guys can set in. This guy can. It's going to be if this works out the way I hope it does. Fascinating. Pedro Porro is going to be so crucial next year with these guys being able to pull in. He can get into all sorts of creative positions. It's going to be superb. However, I still feel like at the top end of the pitch. Don't know who this guy's going to be at the moment. I guess you would sit there and say, this is what we're doing as it stands. This will probably be our team as it stands, right? And don't get me wrong, massive improvement still. These two, by the way, these two would dovetail off each other fantastically well. Bentancur and Fernandes would dovetail fantastically well. Even if Tonali doesn't work out, Bentancur with Fernandes, mwah. Like chef's kiss, it would still look very well. I'm not a huge fan of Bentancur with the teams that we've had before, like with the options around him. I don't think he solves what we're looking for. With Fernandes in and amongst it, I think everyone gets a little bit more freedom to move and to do things. I still need to see Tottenham, get this Fernandes done, get Tonali done if you can. But then we've got to push up into these areas, right? And if Kudus is going to be Kudus is injured off the right, Decky's injured off the right, Odebear's out for months and months and months. We don't know how he'll be when he comes back. Tottenham need... You can make a very strong argument that Tottenham need to go and find someone who can play off the right-hand side as well. Really, really, really strong argument for that. And off the left-hand side. What's your thoughts, guys? What is your thoughts? Where are we? If Robertson starts, that shows how shit the left-back situation is. Scott, mate. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Robertson is shit. This isn't 4 years ago. What's my Dave? Irish Hotspur's in the gaff. Big up to Dave. He says Tonali and Bentancur would be even better. Yeah, Tonali and Bentancur. You actually Irish? Dave? Do you think Tonali's a Fernandes? I think they're different players. For me, I think they're very different players. Listen, I'd be more than happy with Tonali. For me, though, Tonali and Fernandes would be a yin and yang double pivot. The dreams are made of, buddy. Dreams are made of. I'd love to get you on, Dave. Fancy coming on, mate? If you've got 10 minutes, let me send you the link, buddy. If you're watching, you might as well jump on if you can. What's your name? Dave. Right. Irish. If you fancy it, buddy. If you're there, if you're sat at your desk, mate, and you've got a few minutes, Dave, would love to get you back on. I miss you, man. I haven't spoken to you for fucking ages, bro. Fucking ages, Dave-o. Great to see you in the Chiddly Chit-Chat, my man. Couple of super Chiddly Chit-Chats as well. Ratata. I've done that one already from Ulrika. Thank you very much, Ulrika. And she's put in another one saying, if we sell Romero, Vicario, Radu, Vusko, Berghvall, and Sarr for 200 million, We have 400 million to spend. Where does the money go? Excited to do the sums. Well, according to reports today out of South America, Tottenham's Romero doesn't seem to be having the levels of interest that people thought. Right? They don't. So apparently, according to South American reports, we're lowering our asking price from... Why is my face so big in this thing? That's better. From 50 million down to like less than 30 million euros now. So like 28 million quid for Romero, just to get him out. Now, personally, there is a line at which we are getting our pants pulled down on Romero on the outgoing. The guy has acted like a bozo. I don't want him at the football club. I don't rate him. I don't want him. But I'm not going to let someone else go and take the piss because he's a dickhead. So I think that you've got to find at least 35 million, 40 million. To be honest, 40 million is cheap for Romero, right? He's a World Cup winner. I know I don't rate him or like him, but that doesn't mean like that suddenly he's not a bad player. He's a good player when he wants to, when he's motivated, when he's happy. He just acts like a dickhead all the time. Anyway, Vicario, 20 million. So let's say 55. Radu, 20 million, 75. Vuskovic, 55. So let's call that, what is that, 120? Is that right? Yeah. 120, 125, 130, something like that. Berghvall, 40. 170 and Sarr. Okay, yeah, 200 million. I'll give you that, Ulrika. Around about 200 million quid, something like that. It's fine. We have 400 million. Where does the money go? Well, about 200 million is going to go on those two midfielders if we can get it done. 52 on Van Hecker, which leaves you with about 150 million quid. And you need to go and drop it on either 2 or 3 players. Right, we've got a goalkeeper. We've got the left back sorted. If Porro's staying, Jed Spence is staying. I think if you've got 150 million quid to drop on 2 players, a striker and a left winger, then Tottenham can look fucking rude next year. Or you can make the argument to do it, spread out over 3 players. You know? But I'll tell you what you could do. Nico Paz. Or you could go and get someone that can hang off the right-hand side, like a Mastantuano at Real Madrid, who's 18, who's a 10/right winger. Real Madrid don't want to sell him. They want to loan him out. He's 18 years old, but he's super talented. And so you could go and get him on a loan and let him cover until we know what we're doing with Kulu and everyone else. Bring him in, pay them 5 million quid or whatever, and then you go and drop the other 145 million quid on a left winger that's ratatata. I'm not talking about then. If we're in that world, you go and get someone like a Ramos, and you go and get someone who is top draw on the left wing. All of a sudden, the money's there, right? You can make the argument right now. If Tottenham are trying to spend 400 and can recoup 200, and we've only dropped 250 on those 3 players, you've got 150 left to spend, and realistically, you could get 2 in and a loan, and you could cover the right-hand side until those players are back, and you could sit in the 10, and then you just go and drop 150 million quid on 2 players, a striker and a left wing. I know we're doing like football manager stuff here, but why not, right? Why the devil not? Guys, there's 1,400 people here watching. Love to see it. Smash up. Dave's coming on in 5 minutes. Dave's coming on in 5 minutes. Love to see it, Dave. Can't wait to see you, mate. Can't wait to see it. It'd be great to see him. He's just getting set up. Connor can't make it on, though. But what an evening it's going to be. Can't wait to hear Dave Irish Hotspur's takes on this stuff. So we're gonna keep going. We're going to keep going, people. Lol, timed out for being honest about Robertson. I didn't time you out. I don't think you got timed out for that, mate. No one would time you out for having an opinion on Robertson. Must have done something else. John Fitzpatrick, THFC. We are winning the quad next season at this rate, Shawnee. Listen, I was saying this earlier on Kate's channel, right? If you're a football fan, if you support Tottenham Hotspur, why would you not get excited? This is the time to get excited. It's when you don't know what's going to happen and it's out of your control, but you get to talk about all of what might be, right? Everyone in life cares about what they will have, what they might have, not what they don't. Oh, Ornstein bomber. Aaron Cox, you about to get timed out, bro? You about to get timed out? What's going on? Is there an Ornstein bomber? Is there an Ornsteiny? Can't even spell his name. No. Time him out. You got to go. Who was the first one who said it? Was it you? Was it you, Aaron Cox? Ornstein and Sizzy, apparently. Who said Ornstein? Find the first person who said Ornstein. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. Ban him, people. Ban him. Funny stuff. Funny stuff. Well, listen, yeah, but if you've got 150 million, I like that super chat there. Whoever put it in a minute ago, right? Was it you, Ulrika? I forget who it was. Who said if we can get 200 million pound back for those players, and maybe we can, right? Maybe we could. You got 200 million to spend, 200 net, so 400 million, and you're hoping that there's money coming in from either from the kids or from the 8 Sports Capital thing. The people that I would say I believe that those guys are involved in the football club. I just don't for the life of me believe that they could possibly have said what they said without getting themselves in legal trouble. I just think that the fact that that's all gone very quiet is because they've been at a word and gone, shut the fuck up. Don't say that shit before the start of the window. Let's spend our money first. So you got 150 million quid to spend on a striker and a left winger in our little fantasy football game. You know? Here, bumba, 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 bumba. We're waiting. Where are you? Come out, wherever you are. No, but listen, in football, the reason why I love football is because I get to have absolutely no control over the conversation. And I get to step away from my own problems, my own life, my health issues, my family issues, my financial issues, whatever the fuck's going on with me. And same with all of you lot. And then you go, right, for the next 90 minutes or the next hour or 2 hours, 10 hours, weekend, whatever, over to these lot to try and make me feel happy. And then you see what happens, right? And this is the best time. So if you can't even enjoy the transfer window, then I don't know what will make you happy. But I'll tell you what makes me happy, guys, is when you see this man's face in the background. It's been a while. Let's bring him in. Davey boy, how are you, buddy?
All right, Shawnee, how are you keeping, lad?
Oh, mate, it's great to see you, mate. It's great to see you. How you been?
Yeah, good, lad. Not been too bad, actually. Not been too bad. Just trying to survive this heat, though. It's been relentless the last couple of days, lad. Yeah, it's brutal, mate. It's us big lads are fucking struggling more than most. Well, you look like you've lost weight, Dave. Well done, mate. You look keeping healthy? Yeah, I've been in the gym and that, so, just got to keep going, keep persevering, lad.
I like your new background, mate. I like your new background. Turned it into a right little classy studio with the picture of the stadium. I like that, mate. Very clever.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, lad. It's been a long time coming. It's only been about 4 or 5 years in the making.
Mate, talk to me. What is going on? What do you think about this Fernandes story? You enjoying it? You happy?
Yeah, look, we all know we needed a squad overhaul this summer. We've already got in 4 players, including the Bravka today. Now Matheus Fernandes over the line. Hopefully we can get Sandro Tonali over the line. And look, we are acting different to what we have done in previous windows. Like last summer, we spent the first 4 or 5 weeks sticking about with Thomas Frank and his coaching staff while everyone else was making signings. So it's good to see us being proactive for once in the window, actually.
And what do you see, before I ask you about the players specifically, do you see both of these guys, the ones that we're heavily linked with, do you see both of them coming in, one of them coming in, neither of them coming in? What's your gut instinct telling you?
Well, look, I would hope we can get both. That's what the reports are leaning towards today. And I think we need both, Sean. I think, the last couple of years, our midfield has sort of just been put together, with a lot of mismatch. There's been no real sort of cohesive plan around it, like buying players to complement each other and stuff like that. Whereas, and you look at, I was looking at Newcastle, and I think a massive part of their ascent over recent years, bar last year, was actually the strength of their midfield of Joelinton, Gameras and Tonali. And I think it's so important if you want to compete with the big teams up the top end of the league. That's where it makes a massive difference in terms of being able to even trying to play the Zerbi ball, because regardless of the opposition, he's not going to want to relinquish any control of possession or stuff like that. He has his way of playing. And in order for us to play that way and compete in them games, it's important we have midfielders that can handle the ball, but also handle themselves in that midfield so that we can go and compete. I know a lot of things in football have changed. I know a lot of us fans have to keep an eye on PSR and all that stuff that we didn't have to when we were growing up and all. But one thing that doesn't change is if you have good competitive midfield, you have a chance of winning a game of football.
So is there a preference? I completely agree, mate. I also think that when you look at what we're doing at the back line with the ball playing centre halves that you brought in, again, I don't know what the starting formation is going to be. It's lovely to have options. Our left side of defence looks stronger than it has done for a long, long time. But whether it's Van der Ven or Senesi, whether it's, I'm guessing it's going to be Van Hecker. I'm guessing Romero's out the door. But those guys have the ability now to be able to do what they do fantastically well, move the ball forward themselves or carry it forward themselves. And then you have players behind them. If we get Fernandes and if you get Tonali, that double pivot, mate. I mean, I've gone through the stats relentlessly with the chat here before. Like they are like peas and carrots to each other. One of them, like Tonali's brilliant, relentless pressing, right? Can get the ball back and then hand it off to someone who can then do more with it than he can. And to me, those two are just going to be gobbling things up. But also the players behind can progress and they can sit in and protect. Pedro Porro is going to be a massive beneficiary of having either Tonali or Fernandes inside him to be able to get in there and make sure that he's not left secluded. You know, it's a case of like amplifying the strengths of what you have and protecting them and defending the vulnerabilities. And I think those two as a double pivot, if this pulls off, Dave, for me, it revolutionises our midfield.
Oh, 100%. I think it revolutionises the way we play on the football pitch to a large extent. Look, you know, I think everyone got fed up last year watching Frank Ball, breaking records for low XG and stuff like that. And, you know, when De Zerbi came in here, he did show that we could have put out a better product than what we were showing all season long, you know, hence why we managed to get the points to be able to stay up in the end. But I think, you know, when I look at this, Kinsky's obviously going to be given the chance to be number one. I'm still a bit unsure about that, still a bit worried. But, yeah, you know, with the ball at his feet, he's absolutely superb. Even if teams come and press him, he has the ability to play longer range passes, which will help us massively. When you look at everyone across that back line, they're all very, very comfortable in possession, you know. And like you said, if they can pass the ball, not only like, you know, everyone can pass the ball. I'm not talking about just 5-yard passes sideways. They all have passing ranges, you know, in their locker, but they can also run with it if needed, if in trouble and stuff like that. And then I think a big part of the problem last year was that midfield. We couldn't really get a midfield to work. And we only really got to grips last year when Bentancur came in. And don't get me wrong, I know he's not everyone's favorite. But when he came into that midfield, we were able to get a grip on games because he was able to handle that ball pumped into him from the defenders into him. And he was able to stoke up the pressure, get turned, and help us progress that ball forward. And, you know, I know, again, a lot of people don't like Bentancur, but when he was being taken off towards the ends of games last year because of his fitness, we lost control of games completely as soon as we took him off. So to have a number of them options, because we will suffer injuries, it's good to have. It means then we, like, because in years gone by, although Pochettino had a certain style of football, it was almost compromised to a certain degree when a player went injured because the next guy coming in didn't have the same skill set or wasn't up to the required standard. Whereas, like, if you take them three as your three base options and maybe even include Conor Gallagher in there, you can almost take one out and bring another one in, and you shouldn't have to suffer in terms of how you want to play. And it's just good that we are building out options. You know, you look at the back line, we've got plenty of options there all season long. You take one out, you put one in. No one's going to be sitting there going pre-game going, oh, he's playing, he makes me nervous today. You know, he could come back and cost us. You know, we from the back line, and if we can get these two over the line in the midfield, you've got very good options, and then it gives us plenty of time then to be able to work on fixing that forward line, which is going to be the most important part of this rebuild. Make no mistake about it.
Just before we come on to that section there, Dave, what would you do if you were in charge right now in a world where Tonali and Fernandes comes in? It looks like Berghvall's on his way out the door, right? He's been told he's probably like too low down the pecking order. What about Bentancur, Archie Gray? We know we Pelini obviously is waiting. He's waiting in the wings to be told whether he's going to come in or not. Are we assuming that if we get Tonali and Tonali and Fernandes, then we don't need Pelini? Are we being a little bit disrespectful to him in kind of making him wait, him not knowing his own future whilst we try and reprioritize? And then what happens to players like Archie Gray What happens to how do you see that kind of? What's the pecking order in your mind or in De Zerbi's mind as you see it going forward in that midfield?
Well, what's going on with Paulinho? Because the last I heard, he was looking for a move back to Portugal.
Yeah, so apparently, someone in the Twitter space was in holiday and got a picture with him at a hotel. He's staying at the same hotel, and he said, "What's going on?" He said, "I'm waiting on Tottenham," and the guy on Twitter said, "Well, what does that mean?" He said, "Oh, Tottenham are being lazy." So basically, like they tell him that they want him, but they're not willing to pay the 25 million quid, and obviously Sporting are interested. I don't know. I've got no idea. I'm just telling you what I've heard or whatever. What's going on? But basically, that he hasn't signed a deal with Sporting because he's being told by Tottenham that Tottenham want him, but they're just not willing to pay the money that Bayern want, and so they're renegotiating. But to all intents and purposes, it looks like we're using him as a fucking fullback, and I think that's a little bit disrespectful to the guy because I thought he was brilliant for us last year when he played.
Yeah, well, for me, look, if the option was there, I'd take Paulinho back along with a Fernandes, along with a Tonali, a Bentancur, a Gallagher, because then all of it, because we will suffer injuries. We've seen that. You're going to get suspensions, and plus you're going to have to make substitutions now. And when you make substitutions, you don't want to weaken your team like we done last year. So there's going to be game time there for all of these guys. I'm not even concerned about that or worried about that. There's going to be game time for all these senior players. And look, Paulinho is one I think we should get anyway, because to be honest with you, I think last year he was our best midfielder. I know a lot of people say he's not great on the ball, he's never going to score goals. He had the most goal contributions from midfield than any other midfielder last season, by the way. Popped up with important goals. And not only that, it's just his mentality, the leadership, and going into the bigger games, you are going to need a player of his skill set that can get around and just break down moves and turn ball over. So for me, he's one I would definitely sign.
You sign all three. You sign Tonali, Fernandes, and Paulinho.
Yeah, I would, and I'll tell you why. Because look, as much as I love Pape Matar Sarr, and I do think he's shown more in a Tottenham jersey than Archie Gray and Lucas Berghvall, he's approaching 24 now, and I think it's a fair argument to say, has he really kicked on? We always see, what we just say, a string of games from him put back to back, over a few months of a season, but you never actually see a full season, and no one can actually sit here and say, what does he specialize in? So for me, I think if you could get 20, 30 million for him, why wouldn't you move him on and bring João Paulinho in using that money? Archie Gray is one I would look at loaning out. I've seen good things from Archie Gray, but he's been nowhere near consistent. And Lucas Berghvall, as much as people love him, I wouldn't be adverse to letting him go, to be brutally honest with you. I think he's the worst. I think he's the worst out of all three of them options. I think when I look at Lucas Berghvall, has he had as many moments as a Sarr or a Gray? Can I remember any, or can I pick out as much as I can with them guys where he's impacted the game? No, I can't. So for me, I wouldn't be opposed to letting him go and moving him on. And I know people go, but they're all young. The reality is, they're also a part of why we finished where we have finished in the Premier League over the last few years. They've had a lot more game time, and you would argue probably got a lot more game time at Tottenham than what they would have at any other Premier League club over the last couple of years. Pape Matar Sarr has played over 100 games for Tottenham. Lucas Berghvall has played over 75 games for Tottenham. I haven't actually gone and checked Archie Gray's, but I can guarantee you his is up in the 70s as well. And let's be brutally honest. When we've come in, we've given them the excuse they're young. But when you look at someone like Adam Wharton and players like that, what they're doing at other clubs, maybe it's just the case they're not at that level and we bought wrong, and they're just not good enough. And for me, if we're us Spurs fans, we do have that itch to want to go and compete. You have to bring in the players to go and do that. And for me, I don't want to sit here. Last season was an absolute nightmare. Every night going to bed, worrying about whether you're going to get relegated, whether you're not, and all your other problems go out the window. And all you're thinking about is Tottenham, the state of the football club, what life is going to be like if you are relegated and stuff. I don't want to go through that again. So for me, build a squad that can go and compete, because I'm not going to sit here and say we can win the Premier League this year. But it is goddamn wide open for anybody who wants that and wants to really go after it in the transfer market by bringing in the players. Guardiola no longer has the stranglehold on the Premier League. He's gone from Man City. They're bringing in a new guy. You've got Liverpool bringing in the guy from Bournemouth, new manager. Michael Carrick going in with Man United, unknown, different job as a full-time manager than an interim. Chelsea going in under Xabi Alonso again. Not tried and tested.
Unknown entity, right? Unknown entity.
Yeah, exactly. The only ones that are really settled is your Aston Villa and your Arsenal. Our Aston Villa going to back Emery with a bit of extra quality to go and push on. Not sure if the funds are going to be there. But when you look at Arsenal, I know they won the Premier League last year and stuff, but I think they were largely helped by refereeing decisions and got away
100%.
with a lot that other teams weren't.
100%.
So now that the spotlight's on that, are they going to get as much help that's going to decide games? So for me, with no European football, if we can put the right squad together, why can't we have a fucking crack if that's what we're doing here as Tottenham fans, and that's what we want to do?
You're giving me a fucking
quality.
Dave, you're giving me a fucking semi, bro. You're giving me a semi, mate. I love the way you put together your arguments. I love it, mate, because I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I think it's a stretch to go from 17th, or however, didn't Leicester do that? Didn't Leicester go from 17th the year before they won the league, and then they won the league the next year?
United went from bottom half of the table up to finishing inside the top 4. You know what I mean? But don't forget, they were up against Guardiola. They were up against Arne Slot, who had won the Premier League. You know, next year it's a bit different.
It is, mate. It is indeed. Listen, I want to just come back to that, just to finish off the kind of midfield super quick in a second. But just for everyone that's keeping an eye on what's going on Twitter this evening, the only journalist that was saying that Tottenham weren't serious about Fernandes, well, he's backed off. He's done a major fucking U-turn. The absolute fraud. Man United at risk of being blown out of the water by Tottenham on wages for Fernandes. Spurs going big on target salaries, whereas United have started to get wage management under control. Love the way he's sort of trying to spin it in a way that doesn't make him look like a donut. Sorry, Luckhurst.
Well, Man United's ever in for it, though, Sean, because don't they have cash flow problems right now? That's why they're not doing transfers.
Yeah. Like they spent a fuck ton of money over the last 10 years. They're trying to get themselves under control. Plus, they have to put together, I don't know, at least 25% of a £2.5 billion portfolio of access to wealth and resources to be able to sort out their stadium at some point in the next 24 months. As I said in my video this morning, there's so many macroeconomic factors that are going to make that shit very difficult. What's going on with the politics in the Middle East with the Strait of Hormuz? The price of oil is so extreme, and what happens with that is, you know, the price of oil stays high. It means everything is more expensive, right? Yeah. Everything, because it just, you know, the price of oil makes everything go up, right? If oil's high, then you have inflation that's running amok. The natural consequence of that is higher interest rates, because interest rates take the sting out of inflation. What happens if you're trying to borrow money? Well, you're borrowing money at 5, 6, 7%. Naturally now, if the price of interest rates go up, it's going to go up even further. So all of those things mean that if Manchester United are keeping an eye on that stuff and planning for the next 2 or 3 years, maybe they can't afford to compete with Tottenham over a deal like this. Maybe they'll have to pivot and go somewhere else. So I believe, I said it at the start of the show, I said it earlier on as well, I said it's happening. Fernandes to Tottenham is happening. I believe it's, and I love it if Tottenham can go and get the next one as well, Dave.
What I was going to say, Sean, just quickly on that, is I do think Fernandes was the easier deal to get done, because, you know, West Ham want to sell so that they can start, you know, sorting their squad out for the championship and stuff like that. And they were obviously, you know, Spurs could obviously pay more up front than what Man United can right now. So that was the easy one to get done. Let's see if they can get the Tonali one done as well. That's the one that would really impress me if they can get that done.
To be, listen, I'd love to see Tonali because I think he's a game changer. But if I'm entirely honest, mate, I've got to stick true to my perspective here. I've been saying for a long time, I've never even really considered Tonali as a viable option, right? But for the majority of this season and even last season when he was at Southampton, I was saying, for this Fernandes kid is a talent, a top talent. He went to West Ham and he was phenomenal all season for them. I know they went down and all the naysayers like, oh, he's got but twice relegated, all that bollocks. Shut the fuck up. It's a team that gets relegated. It's not an individual. It's ridiculous. For me, I think Fernandes has got a higher ceiling than Tonali. I actually prefer Fernandes the player. I think he's all round, and he's 21. So anyone that's making the argument, and you were making the argument a minute ago about people that are going to say, don't sell the kids. Well, if you are going to sell the kids or loan them out or whatever, Berghvall and Gray, you've actually got a new kid coming in who's far better in Fernandes than Berghvall or Gray has shown. I just want to quickly, before I can see people saying the Luckhurst story also talks about Marcus Rashford, which, Dave, I'm going to come to in a minute with the forward line. Just to round off, though, are you saying, so you want to see Tottenham essentially sign Palhinha, Fernandes and Tonali, and then obviously Bissouma's left the football club. We're advocating the sale of Berghvall to bring in 40 million quid, whatever it's going to be. And you're also okay with selling Sarr. So if it's 3 out, 3 in, you're then happy with the midfield, because none of those 3 players are particularly the kind of creative, the guy that can switch hit and play passes. None of those three are really that guy. They're all different variations of DMs with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm also happy, by the way, with that idea. More than happy. Just wanted to lock down your argument. Yeah. You want to see us sign Palhinha, Tonali, and Fernandes, and then sell or release Bissouma, sell Berghvall, and sell Sarr, and then you're set for the midfield. Are you happy with the midfield then?
Yeah, that would be my dream, Sean, because I know you're worried about the creativity, but that's why we have a Xavi Simons. That's why we have a James Maddison. Like when it comes to Bentancur and Palhinha, I actually think Sky Sports and Jamie Carragher, all the two of them as a partnership, a massive, massive apology. Carragher done a hit piece earlier on in the season on them, and it sort of made its way into the Spurs fan base. But all they had to simply do was go and look at Bentancur's progressive passes under previous managers compared to Thomas Frank. And they would have found that Thomas Frank was the issue, and what he was instructing the midfielders to do. So they looked limited because of what he was asking them to do. But when De Zerbi walked in here, go back and watch some of the games. Palhinha was switching play 60, 70 yards. Bentancur has the ability to do it. Tonali definitely has it in his locker to be able to do it. 100%. Fernandes has it in his locker to put balls in behind and stuff like that. So every single one of them players have that in their locker in terms of the passing range, but they all work hard out of possession as well. So for me, I'll be very happy with that options, and I think it's no surprise actually. Just on the Bentancur Palhinha partnership, when we were winning games, is when Carragher came out with that hit piece. Frank then broke up that midfield. We struggled ever since. De Zerbi walked in, put that partnership back in a double pivot. We started winning games again. So I don't think it's as bad as many people make out. I just think too many people are influenced by someone like Jamie Carragher and Sky Sports, who are actually really disappointed in because they've got all the team behind them. They've got all the stats, all the computers and everything else to be able to come up with fair analysis on it. And they failed in that regard. And they put out a narrative that I don't think was true.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%, Dave. It's very often that you and I vehemently disagree on these sorts of topics. I completely concur. I also like the idea, the way that you've just sort of justified it with that midfield three. I would be okay, though. As much as I fucking love Palhinha, I love him. I feel like he should have got his own flowers at the end of the season, by the way, because no one gave him his chance to get his own round of applause for what he put into us. I felt sad thinking that was going to be the end of his time, sort of standing isolated, just sort of doing this when we were singing songs. He should have been pushed forward for a round of applause just in case he doesn't get to play for us again. If he does, I'm more than on board. If he doesn't, I'm okay as long as Tottenham look for someone with a little bit more creative spark. Because I would like to see potentially just a different style of midfielder that's brought in. Because I do think that maybe Fernandes and Tonali can handle the sort of defensive side of the game enough. I agree with you, though, that Archie Gray can go on loan. Berghvall can be sold. Sarr can be sold. I'm fine with all that stuff. If not Palhinha, then bring someone in that's got a bit more sort of creative flair from the 8. But either way, I'm not going to push that narrative because we've got plenty of time to talk about that in the future. Dave, I wanted to ask you, let's move forward to the top end of the pitch, buddy, because that's the next segment of the transfer window. And in that Luckhurst article that I just brought up, where he's backtracked, he's also said, let me see if I can bring it on the screen. I'm just showing Last Word on Spurs' snippet from it. That it's been suggested that Tottenham Hotspur are willing to meet the salary demands of United forward Marcus Rashford, is set to see his weekly wage rise to 325 grand a week. Now, are we supposed to take this guy seriously when he was wrong all day about Fernandes? He's been wrong for weeks about Fernandes not going to Tottenham, that Tottenham weren't serious and that a load of bollocks. Suddenly he's rewound that one, and now he's jumping on this story. First of all, do you believe that Tottenham are capable of raising their wage structure as much as that to go from 200 towards 325? And even if they are, Dave, is he the player to break the wage structure for, to bring in our number one top earner? Is Marcus Rashford the guy for you?
Look, when it comes to the news, I think your man's maybe playing a bit of a guessing game there. I think it's been widely reported that Spurs are not afraid to offer the transfer fees or the wages this summer. I actually wouldn't mind taking Marcus Rashford here at Tottenham Hotspur. I think, we could unlock him again. I think he's been searching for a home, somewhere to be loved. I think Spurs fans would embrace him, and I think he'd find his feet here again at Tottenham. And I do think he has that ability to create or score a goal out of nothing. But I wouldn't pay the 40 million release clause. I definitely look to try and get that down to 20, 25 million, because United have been trying to sell Rashford for nearly 2 years now.
Yeah, they're desperate to get him off the wage books, aren't they?
Desperate to get him off the wage books, So for me, I would definitely look to negotiate that right down and look to get a bargain there. But when it comes to the wages, look, we're all big advocates of.
Let me rephrase it. If you're getting a player of Marcus Rashford's quality for £20 million and 15 million quid a year on a 4-year deal, right? That's an £85 million package over 4 years, right? Which is exactly the same as paying £60 million for someone and paying 7 million a year, which is about, 140 grand a week. So when it comes down to like net outlay, Marcus Rashford, how old is he? He's not that old, right? But he's a talent. When he's playing at his very best, he's an absolute talent. When you put it in the context of you can get the price for the player down to like bare minimum, but you end up having to pay more on the salary, that's okay, right? You can swallow that as long as other players at the football club don't start knocking on the door saying, if he's getting 350, I should be too.
Yeah, well, see, that's the problem. That's not going to happen. We live in a world where footballers are all about their money now. They're more educated on that side of the game than ever before or past years. And, if a player is outperforming Marcus Rashford, you better believe he's knocking on that door going, hang on, I'm outperforming him. I want 400k a week.
Right. And
I feel like that's how Man United got themselves into that mess in the first place. And, for me, I am like, we've all sat here and we've all said, you got to pay the wages. But I think if you're setting a precedent, that we are willing to break our wage structure and start paying these wages, the first couple of big ones have to be on the right players that are going to come in and are going to immediately drag you up a level and are at it week in, week out. Rashford hasn't shown that over the last couple of years. He's been a player that's been very up and down. So for me, I don't think you could pay him any more than 200 grand a week. What our highest earner is on at the minute, to be brutally honest with you. I wouldn't be comfortable playing them 325 because all of a sudden everyone else is going to do it. And also players you're interested in, all of a sudden they're going to start asking for that sort of wage as well. And then you end up like Man United where it becomes the Wild West. So, Tottenham do have to have some level of control on it. So for me, I'm not sure he's the right guy that I would go, let's break our wage structure for you.
Okay, but you also do think he would be a good. Okay, so you're saying he's not the guy to break the wage structure on, but he's a guy you'd like to see come to Tottenham if the wage was right.
Yeah, 100%.
So could you
I'd rather bring Rashford in than Savinho. I just wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't be comfortable paying him the 325 grand a week because at the end of the day, it is a bit of a gamble. Like if you look at his Man United career, up until he started earning that massive wage, he was performing. Maybe the money has made him feel a little bit comfortable, or maybe gave him a bit of a bigger ego, and maybe he thought he had more sway and everything else than what he actually thought he had. So for me, this is a player that has been passed around for the last couple of years, hasn't really hit them heights. So it's a gamble. And I think we should be going to Rashford's agents and saying that to them.
Okay, so how can you make that in the middle then? Can you do something like we'll pay you 250 a week, but we'll make up the other 70 via bonuses, performance related pay, essentially?
Yeah, I think that would be a fair one. Like if you performance based incentives, so that you do drag them to that level, and then you can go. Well, there you are, no problem, you've earned it.
Yeah, okay. So on that basis, then, would you play him off the left, or would you play him as a 10, as a 9? Would you buy him as the as well as a Savinho, or as well as whoever else we're looking at, Somerville, Gakpo? When we link with fucking half a dozen people in that role, we're not seeing too much in the way of strikers at the moment. Gonçalo Ramos was linked a little while ago, but not seeing any movement there. I love Ramos. I think he's class. I'd love to see him come in. We still don't have any noise or anyone that's off the right hand side. What would you like to see happen in that kind of in terms of the striker or the overall transfer targets for the forward line? Because we need to improve, right? And who do you want to see leave the football club as well, Dave?
Well, I'd like to see Rashford come in and play off the left. I believe that's his favourite position anyway, isn't it? So, I wouldn't mind playing him there. Get Kudus back fit, have him playing off the right. Let Xavi and Maddison sort of fight it out for that cam position. And then up front, to be honest with you, I'd like to sell the options we have there. Richalison and Solanke, I don't think they justify the money we paid on them. I think they've both been piss poor. You know, the lack of goals, you know, has been absolutely shocking the last couple of years. You know, I did warn for quite some time about, you know, getting ahead of the Kane and Son situation, that they were aging, and Tottenham failed to do that. And look how drastically we paid the price for it. So I'd like to move both of them on. I was listening to you just before I came on talking about Will Lancashire. I'm glad you're an advocate for Will Lancashire, because he's also a guy I'd like to keep around. Solanke scored 3 Premier League goals last year. You're telling me Lancashire wouldn't have bagged 3? You know,
no, I think Lancashire understands. I think he understands spatial awareness better than most players that I've seen.
Yeah.
Every time I watched him in the game, I was at the game at Reading in the pre-season with the Vuskovic flick on from the corner kick. He knew where the ball was going to be before anyone else did, tucked it home. I remember the Galatasaray goal. He knows how to he knows when to move, knows when to pull back. I think he understands those sorts of things. And then on top of that, watching him at Oxford, like most of his goals were kind of positional based, just sort of in the right place, right time. But that you can't just put that down to luck all the time, Dave. That's someone who understands the game. But he also has the ability, because he scored a couple of absolute screamers as well. I think, and he's built like a fucking, like a boxer.
Yeah, he's huge.
He's huge. So I feel like he can handle it. I think he's ready to sit in there. So go and get me a striker. Go and get me a big name striker. I don't care who it is. I wanted to ask you this one about Vuskovic, right? Because it seems like Tottenham are looking for, you know, I mentioned the Rashford thing there. You know, you maybe make up the money and the wages by saving it on the fee or whatever else. Same sort of argument could be presented for Juve's Vlahovic. You're going to get him on a free transfer, but you're going to end up paying 300 grand a week for the geezer. I don't know. I can't decide whether I think he's good enough or not. There's something about him I rate, but there's also something about him that I don't. So I want to ask your question, your opinion on players like Vlahovic, mate.
Vuskovic, you mean?
No, Vlahovic from Juve.
Oh, Vlahovic. Yeah, I've the. Look, I've been following football all my life. Sometimes a player can make the wrong move, and you know it sort of hinders or halts his career or the progress he was making. But then all of a sudden they get out of there, and all of a sudden they kick on. I go back to Diego Forlan. Man United couldn't hit the barn door. Went across to Villarreal, banged in goals, and was feared right across Europe. I think Vlahovic is that sort of guy. I think once he gets out of Juve, I think there'll be a lot of clubs kicking themselves. Oh, we should have took that gamble. But likewise, it is a massive gamble. But to be honest with you, outside of Harry Kane, I don't actually think there's a lot of great strikers on the market that are, that are available. So I do think we are in a position where you are going to have to take a risk in that regard. So for me, I would definitely, like I say, give Will Lancashire the opportunity. I'd look to bring in a Vlahovic, and maybe if there was someone else in the market we can go and get and stock ourselves up, I'll be happy. But in the striker, I think that's where we're going to become a bit. I think that's where we're going to come a bit on sort of stuck, and I think that's where fans are going to be most disappointed coming out of the window is that actual striker position, because football for a period went down the route of just one striker, which means then coming through academies, you weren't producing anywhere near as much when you were playing two up top, and you were carrying four strikers and stuff. So they're in high demand. So I think that's where Tottenham are going to come stuck in the market, to be honest, Sean. A bit worried.
I don't disagree, mate. I look at the game. I think Francolino Jew is a player that it's a gamble. He might be someone I think he's got all of the physical attributes to be a superstar. He got a bad injury at the end of the Danish season. I look at the player who plays over in Porto, Samu Agahawa, and I'm like, I don't know if he's done anything that's worth the sort of money that they want for him. There's just not that many strikers out there, and even in the Premier League, like Igor Thiago's, or I think today we're linked with Brian Brobby. I mean, Brian Brobby for me he's a talent, and he's a big, strong, physical guy, but I don't think he's a massive needle mover. And so I'm with you, mate. I think it's a struggle to see where we go. Last summer was the time to get a striker. There was so much striker movement, and Tottenham just sat on their hands like the donuts that they are. They should have activated then, because now it's dry as a nun's chuff again, and it's one of those things where you're going to struggle to satisfy. But if you can get things, if you can That's why I don't want to sell both of our strikers until you've got at least one in, because you can end up being really cut short. But
which one would you keep then, Richie or Solanke?
Solanke, but there's not much in it. I don't rate either of them really anymore.
I would not. I'd keep Richalison.
Would you? Yeah,
he scored more goals than him. He scored more goals than him last year, and stuff like that. And I think Richarlison's movement in the box is actually better than Solanke's. I think that's part of Solanke's big problem, that he doesn't fashion himself. He doesn't get enough chances because I think his movement is poor. I think Richarlison is a lot more hungry in the box. So I'd probably keep Richarlison out of it too, because I think the whole idea with De Zerbi is build the team up to a certain point. I think he might realize they might struggle to get a striker. So just to try and provide whatever striker we have, which is with as much chances as possible. But I really do think he can actually do something with Will Lancashire. He was behind the rise of Evan Ferguson, by the way. I think people forget that. When Evan Ferguson came through, he was being loaned about. De Zerbi got his hands on him. He got him super fit, got him out there scoring goals. His career since then has gone downhill because he's not at the same fitness level and stuff like that, and he keeps carrying injuries and picking up a lot of knocks. But when he was under De Zerbi, he was becoming a hot property, and his value was rising by the game. And I just feel like he could do something similar with Will Lancashire. Like, to your point, even before we signed Will Lancashire from Sheffield United, reason why we signed him is because he was banging in goals there too. The under-21s banging in goals.
Yeah.
This guy, and it's similar to Harry Kane. One thing people always said about Harry Kane, he knows where to find chances. And that's just that's a gift as a striker. Michael Owen was the exact same. Jermaine Defoe, a fox in the box, always knew where to sniff out an opportunity. Will Lancashire has that ability, but to your point, he's a big physical guy. And not only that, you look at one of his last goals for Oxford last season, where he picked up the ball, ran at them, and buried it in outside the box into the top corner. Very Harry Kane-esque. For me, I would actually be I would be very surprised if De Zerbi doesn't get his hands on him and start working him the way he wants him, because I think Will Lancashire could at least bag 10 goals in the De Zerbi side.
100%. And when I see 15 clubs in the championship are all willing to pay 15-20 million quid for him, I'm like, there's a reason. They see what he's about. I want to keep him. I want to, or at least let's see what he does in the preseason. Let's see what we do in the behind the scenes doors thing, and we'll go from there. Hey, listen, Dave. I know you've got to jump in a second, mate. I've got to do 6 super chats. Do you want to jump now, or do you want to wait around for you to do the super chats before I can let you go if you need to go, mate? I want to say massive thank you for coming on, buddy. Love to stream more with you, mate. But I know you've got to. You've got to go ready for another show. Yeah,
I've got to jump on Last Word on Spurs at 10 o'clock. So, I'm going to go and have a quick drink and a quick ice pop and stuff like that to cool down. But look, it's good to be back on, my man. And hopefully we can get something up and running, regular now once the season kicks off, where we can do something once a week with each other. That'd be great.
Love you, Dave. Thank you so much, guys. Please get over to the Irish Hotspur. It's right there in the chat. Please make sure you do smash that sub. And I'm gonna round up, because I'm gonna send you guys over to Savage channel in just a second. Appreciate you, Dave. Thank you so much for coming on, mate.
See you later. Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
See you, mate. Appreciate you. What a legend he is. Get over to the Irish Hotspur. Great to be back with Dave, my man, Dave. Do you remember the Devil's Advocate shows? Do you remember the Devil's Advocate? Back in the day, me, Dave, and Johnny, we used to have the best Wednesday lunchtime shows. Unbelievable stuff. Hopefully we can resurrect that stuff. Let me do some super chilly chit chats, and I'm going to send you over to Saba, who's still going. I think he started about 20 minutes ago. We've been burned, says Jonathan Sifu. Is that right? Jonathan Sifu, what a name. Great name. We've been burned so many times, Shawnee. Can't help but limit my excitement. That's fine if you want to limit it, mate. I'm just someone who goes all in. I'd rather get my hopes up and then get them dashed rather than stay on an even keel of expecting the disappointment. Get on board it. Get on board it. Why not? Let's see what happens. And as I said, I think that this Fernandes deal is happening, and it's the first massive bomber, a record. I reckon it's going to be a record signing for Tottenham Hotspur. And then we're going to break that record signing shortly afterwards with Tonali as well. And maybe there's another record signing around the corner as well. Who knows? Who knows? Big up to you, Jonathan. Big up to you, mate. Great name, Jonathan, like Jonathan, but Jonathan. I might call Johnny Yoni from now on. Rob Brown's become a new YouTuber. Big up to you, Robbie. Appreciate you, mate. Thank you very much for your support, buddy. What a legend. Mike Oxlong. Says, hey, Dave, it's me. Oh, sorry, he's not here anymore. Big up to Mike Oxley. Oh, Johnny's coming in the background. Oh, Johnny, how you doing?
Hello, buddy. How are you? I couldn't come in before I was out and about.
We almost just had the trio of death. Me, you, and Dave. Dave was on a second ago. It was Devil's Advocate almost. It was David Devil's Advocate. Good to see you, mate. How are you?
I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. Jesus, is it hot and humid out there, right? Hot and sticky. A bit like the Spurs transfer window, huh?
Mate, Fernandes is done. It looks like it's done.
It's done, mate.
Doing it?
It's done. I think it's done. Done.
I think it's done as well. Let me just finish these 3 super chats. I'll tell you what, because Johnny, I know you. I've got a round off in a second anyway, but I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Moose City saying, seeing that we have a verbal agreement with West Ham done for Fernandes. Yes, indeed, Moosey, indeed, mate. Looks like it's diddly did skis, mate. It's diddly duns. Bourbon Buzzard saying, if we did this last year with Champions League football, where would we have been? I don't mind it, man. I don't mind it doing it this year because it's like the first year without European football. We can like make waves. This Premier League, as Dave was saying, the Premier League is like there's a lot of all the big teams have got a lot of change going on. So there's opportunities where there's change knocks, opportunity presents itself. Big up to you, Berman. Thank you very much indeed. Spurs OC says, big up Sean and Dave. Love your shared streams. Yeah, man. We used to like me, Johnny, and Dave used to do the old Devil's Advocate on a Wednesday lunchtime. It was so good. There was like 1,800 people that used to dial in on a Wednesday at midday when I had like, I don't know, 10,000 subscribers or something. I never got back to those numbers. Spurt, big up to you, mate. Appreciate you, buddy. And Blaine's back in the house saying, don't forget to you, Blaine. Says, don't forget the Ramblings crew. Sidekicks are predicting an alien invasion during the Brazil-Scotland game.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that.
Nessie will be there. Don't you worry about that.
Apparently, a couple of Brazilians are going to get kidnapped today by aliens. Big up to you, Blano. Johnny, listen, I want to ask you quick thoughts on Fernandes, but then I want to just pivot to that guy Luckhurst, Samuel Luckhurst, who was saying all day Tottenham aren't going to, it's all overblown. It's not going to Tottenham. Now he's reverse track going. It seems like it is happening. Donut. In the same article, he's now saying Tottenham are willing to spend 325 grand a week on Rashford's wages. And this is the United source of the Sun. What are we saying?
I'm saying Brooklyn, 8 sports capital.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed that Lubo has nicked my my line in my own show, telling me that this is what he thought, having me told him on another show what I thought was happening with Brooklyn. Like about Brooklyn, that the money before we even bought anybody, that I reckon that they've gone quiet, but they've not gone. Because I just don't think that you would go to all this hoo-ha, Sean.
Yeah. Johnny, I don't want to rain on your parade, bro, but I feel I was saying that before you were.
Yeah, no. I mean, listen. I think we were both talking about it, mate. I think we were both talking about it. No, but I think we were both talking about it.
I know we were.
But what I got to be honest with you.
First. No, I did.
No, but Lubo telling me that, like Lubo telling me on my own show was a bit funny. What I thought was weird was. Brooklyn on Instagram, you message him and he interacts. When I went to Japan, he's like told me a couple of places to go in Japan, and like, you know, stupid little things like, you know, when you make a comment about where he was skiing or whatever. And then when he took over, I just went, great stuff, right? Great stuff, smiley face and a thumb emoji. And then when it was delayed or whatever, no correspondence since. And I'm thinking, what'd you read into that? What'd you read into that? Nothing. Or, you know, where they suddenly got the money from. Like, you know, we're here that that the Lewis kids are having to sell £200 million worth of paintings. What are they going to do next year? Really?
I'll sell the yacht. I just want to give a little bit of credit to my man Daniel Levy, because it doesn't matter how much money you inject into the football club, if you don't have the financial wherewithal and the wriggle room within the SCR and the FFP and the PSR, it doesn't matter. Like, if you can't spend it because your profit in the football club isn't there, You can't spend it no matter how much the ambition is. Look at Newcastle, look at Villa, right? Whereas we can inject 200 million quid and we can spend it without hopefully falling foul of any PSR or FFP and any of that stuff. And that has to be given some credit to the prudence of Daniel Levy. And so I just want to everyone wants to remember the shit with Daniel Levy and pretend like what we're seeing now is because he's gone. But what we're seeing now is because of what he did.
The wiggle room.
The wiggle room.
He spent years on FFP and PSR.
100%, 100%, mate, 100%. So, would you take Marcus Rashford, Johnny?
I would take Marcus Rashford as long as he's coming to play. You know?
Yeah.
Go into Tottenham High Road, do your school dinners, but forget your Louis Vuitton shit, right? This is Tottenham Hotspur. Don't bring your baggage. Don't want to hear any of your baggage. A firing Marcus Rashford. I'll keep Mathys Tel then.
Yeah.
You know? But,
no, Mathys Tel's not going anywhere. I hope he isn't going anywhere. I want Mathys Tel to stay. I think he's got a lot of people. He's got to prove a lot of people wrong.
No, mate. I think Saïd Dermala is going to be one we get away that we miss again and we regret. I really do. Yeah. For me, he ticks all the boxes of what you want, you know?
Yeah, I'm not Saïd Dermala. For me, if we're going to get someone like that, I would rather go and get Abdi from Batiste. But
another good player. I just like two-footed players, 6'2", powerful, can play on the left, can play on the right, can play in the middle as a 10 or a false 9. And it's that flexibility that I love. But look, Matheus Fernandes is a great start. I don't think Matheus Fernandes is the player that makes everyone stand up and take notice. I think Tonali is. And if you sign Tonali and Matheus Fernandes, the other players that you start to look at will go, hang on a minute, there's a bit of a revolution.
The important thing, though, Johnny. I think you need to get one of them over the line quick and make it work. You don't want to get beaten to one of these guys because then the story falls apart. If you've signed Van Newcastle, you've got in Robertson, you've got Senesi, you brought in Dubravka. Okay, Dubravka's kind of irrelevant, but you've got three. Tottenham haven't been beaten to anybody just yet. If you then go and lose out to Fernandes to United or lose out to Tonali to City or to Arsenal or whatever else, the story of Tottenham are different beasts, it falls over a little bit. If you go and get Fernandes done tomorrow or whenever it's going to be, then suddenly everyone's like, I'd slightly disagree with you about Fernandes because I actually think Fernandes is a better player than Tonali.
I'm talking about the name.
Sure. No, I hear you on that one.
That's it, not the play. Yeah.
Sure, that's fine. I agree with you on that bit. But if you go and get Fernandes, I think Tonali's more likely. If you lose Fernandes, I think you might lose Tonali. I think so. You've got to go and get one of them done. Then the story continues. The domino effect of the reputation kicks on. What's this? Sorry,
mate. I'm just doing up your show. I'm just showing you this, mate. I mean, this is last season's stats.
No, mate, he's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I mean, what's not to like? What's not to like about it? I could get excited, Sean. I think right from the beginning we could see we were moving very different. You know, Vinay, I asked the question before. You know, Vinay says it's a new era. Prove it. Yeah. And it looks like they are. I still think it's fucking strange that there's no director of football, mate. I'm sorry, that's the one bit I'm not buying. Oh, here we go. Look, this is nice. This is nice.
Look at this. Let me get a bit nicer background. Look, this guy.
Can we have his full name, please? Can we have a rendition of his full name?
Matheus Gonçalo Espana Fernandes. Do you know how many Fernandeses there are in the top 5 leagues, by the way? Let me show you this.
Matheus Gonçalo.
Right, look at this. Player, if I type in Fernandes, this is just with DES, right? The Fernandes with a DES. There's Alvaro Jallo. There's Anicio Claudio Fernandes Reyes Cabral. Antonio Manuel Fernandes Mendes. There's look at them. All of these guys have got Fernandes in their name, and this is just from the top 5 league. There's fucking hundreds of the bastards. And that's with an S. If I put in a Z, there's another fucking 100 of them.
It's unbelievable.
It must be one of the most common names in
shit, I missed round 3. Shit. I knew there was something I missed. 7 o'clock. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
All right, listen, we're gonna round off. Johnny, thanks for popping on, mate. Guys, I'll leave it with you guys. Stay where you are. Don't go anywhere. There's 950 of you still here. It's been unbelievable numbers tonight. Up to 1,500 people were here watching. Really appreciate you. Thank you for all the super chats and the fun. We're going to send you over to Saba. Make sure you put in a Spurs Talk Show raid as you get in there. One last final super chat. Did I get this one done? Oh, no, I didn't already. Oh, we did. Oh, no, we've done that one already. Big up to you, Blaine. Thank you very much indeed. Big up to you, everyone. Get over to, by the way, not Football Link. Spurs 5 is no longer called Spurs 5. It's the artist formerly known as Spurs 5. It's now called Talking Tottenham 1882. Make sure you don't get scared when you look for Spurs 5 content. And you see
I've had a few of them. What the I didn't subscribe to this shit. What is this? What's this? No, I've really thanks to all of you guys that have shown support. Really, really appreciate it. Big up to you all.
Big up to you.
Looking forward to the Spurs hub, Sean. The hub is hubbing.
I've got to build. I'm currently building a couple more features tonight and some more like legacy stuff. Big up to Daniel Field for the super sticker. Choo choo to you, mate. Choo choo to you. Last thing I want to ask of you guys: whatever time it happens, when it happens, if the United stand or This Is Football and it's Goldbridge, if they are streaming, when we get the bomber, when we get the Here We Go, you do exactly what Sully 1882 has done there. You go straight in there and you put in the puppy emoji, the bone emoji, and the handshake emoji, and you spam the life out of it. You let him know that his disrespect will not be tolerated by us Tottenham fans.
Very funny. Very funny. I said Ratcliffe, I didn't think Ratcliffe would pay the money.
No.
When I said the number earlier today on my show, I think a lot of people just called me out saying you're talking shit. You're talking shit. No substantiating facts. I reckon it's being done today or tomorrow. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. It's getting done. We love it, guys. Massive thank you to everyone. Big up to everyone for the super chats and the super stickers. Big up to Blaine as well. I forgot about this one with the 20 Spurs Talk Show memberships gifted. Unbelievable. I'll be back tomorrow if I can with a members show as well to give everyone a chance to come on. Love you all. Get over to the Spurs Hub. Don't forget code Sean at checkout for OK Jersey. The shirts are now up there, I believe, or at least I got an update tonight. Apparently the shirts are ready to go. So if they're not there today, he'll be there tomorrow. It's like he's back from his holiday. My guy, he's been on Chinese vacation. The fucking Chinese. Well, we're led to believe these bastards work like 18 hours a day all the time, right? Like they don't. They have holidays all the time. All the time.
It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. That's all I know, because I've had people knocking on my door like, "What's going on, Johnny? What's going on?" I'll have to hope that my code's working. I was wondering about that.
But yeah, TT1882. Smash up the likes, guys. Smash up the subscribes. Send you over to Saba. Smash in Spurs Talk Show raid. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good evening. Come on, Spurs. Bombers are dropping. Never forget, when Butler streams live, bombers drop. That is always the way it goes. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.